Howdy, friends. This is Owen Thomas, and I play Twisted Fate in League of Legends. And you're listening to The Gaming Outsider. Only 2 jokers in the deck, and I get dealt you.
Welcome to the Gaming Outsider Podcast. On this week's episode, Zack, Jacob, Alyssa, CB, and I talk about video game boxes and which designs we in the community prefer the best. In news, Sony's State of Play was this past week, so there's plenty to discuss there. Zack finally got to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and he and Alyssa also played Lost Records, Bloom and Rage from Don't Knock. Oh, and Alyssa played a cat-themed word puzzle game on mobile called Catagrams, and CB tried Alien Rogue Incursion on the MetaQuest 3. Finally, Joel stops by to tell us about his press access to a virtual video game expo called Nova Game Expo. This is The Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to The Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community, which can be found at thegamingoutsider.com, facebook.com/groups/thegocast, and even our Discord server. There is a link in the show notes of this very episode. It is Tuesday, February 18th. I'm your host, Scott Clark, still getting over whatever this is. I apologize if you hear it in my voice. But joining me are my much more healthier friends. First off, Alyssa White, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I wish you were feeling better, Scott.
I wish I were too. It is getting in the way of my audiobook recording. It's very, very frustrating. Yeah. Also joining us, Chris Behrensmeyer. What's up?
I wish you were feeling worse.
I believe it. Jake Gunderson.
You sound just fine. And do not call me Jake Gunderson.
Jacob Gunderson.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Gunderson.
And Zack Parkerson. What's up, man?
It's very confusing. What does Jacob want to be? Does he want to be Jacob or does he want to be Jake? On the screen it says Jake.
I know, that's why I said Jake.
Jacob.
As a nickname, I like Jake or Gundy or whatever, but do not use my nickname and my surname. It bugs the hell out of me.
Okay. So it's either
combination.
Jake, I'll just call you beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow, that was actually pretty smooth.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't think I've ever heard anybody refer to you as Gundy.
Oh, no, that's that was my high school nickname.
I was gonna say it sounds like a high school nickname for sure.
Yeah. There are still a few people that when I run into them in public, they're like, "Oh, Gundy." Hey,
Yeah, I will not be doing that. Anyway,
that's fine. Oh yeah, I have excitement to see me. I can barely get an invite anywhere.
Wow.
Whoa.
Hey, you got an invite to a concert this weekend.
Yeah.
Was it a pity invite?
Only because I couldn't go and I needed to get rid of my ticket.
So it was a pity invite.
It was a pity invite. Anyway.
So you know what, Jacob? I mean, Scott didn't even tell me happy birthday. So, you know, he's feeling all of us.
It was a day later.
It was yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday, Zack.
I feel bad about it too.
Thank you.
As you should.
Belated birthday, Zack. I apologize. I'm usually really good about remembering your birthday. I even had it on my calendar.
I just thought it was weird that the 2 people I talked to probably the most, Scott and Alyssa, were the 2 people who did not wish me happy birthday on my birthday.
I know. My days are blending together. Blame the anxiety. But yeah, happy belated birthday.
My birthday was the 1st. And Scott was more excited. Oh, yeah, February.
Oh, I didn't know your birthday was the 1st.
Hey, happy
belated birthday.
And Scott was more excited about his stupid Thunder Pong than he was about wishing me a happy birthday.
Hey, I let you help me install a microwave.
No.
We failed that.
Attempt to install a microwave.
That's a whole other story.
Wait, this is on his birthday? You invited him over for
Well, no, we had Thunder Pong at my house, and it happened to fall on his birthday, and he came to Thunder Pong on his birthday. And when everybody showed up, we were in the middle of installing a microwave, and I needed an extra set of hands, so I asked him to help me.
As one does.
So, anyway, Gaming Outsider. We got a lot of games to talk about, a lot of new games to talk about. But before we do, I got a couple things. I got one quick announcement I wanted to make known to everybody. Mark Szymanski, you've heard his voice on these episodes. He's one of our contributing writers. He wrote, how many reviews did he do last year, Alyssa? Like 23 or something like that?
No, we were tied. He wrote 28.
28 reviews he wrote last year. He's just been killing it, and he wanted to do more. He's like, that wasn't enough work, Scott. Can you give me something else to do? So after some talking and dealing, we have made Mark Szymanski our first news editor. So Mark is going to be, you've probably noticed on the socials, he's been posting things on the website, news related. You know, we get some press releases, and I've been feeding him some information, and and he's been creating some posts and all that. And so, welcome Mark to the team, as it were. It's already doing some good because I send all that news to my contacts and building up the communications there. So stay tuned to thegamingoutsider.com for future news items. Jacob,
does Mark have a shirt yet?
Does Mark have a shirt yet? I don't. Like a bowling shirt or a t-shirt?
Does he have one of our trademark bowling shirts yet?
He does not.
Then he's not part of the team yet.
Oh wow.
That's like the ring on the finger, Scott.
Right? Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I'm sure he'll get one at R2V2.
If you like it, then you better put a shirt on it.
Yeah.
The same sound to it.
Like the
Well, anyway, welcome, Mark. We're looking at a potential second as well, so stay tuned for more details. But trying to put some more content up on the site, so that's been going on. Games we've been catching up on. We got so many new games to talk about this week that apparently I'm the only one that did some catching up because I did not play any new games this week. I have been playing some games for me, guys, and if you remember last
good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been really great, guys. I am really enjoying this journey through Final Fantasy, the original Final Fantasy. Did I mention? I can't remember if I told you last week. I did finish the first one. Did I mention that last week? Finish the first one.
Chaos.
Yes.
Dude, are you gonna play Stranger Paradise now so you can know the full details of Garland?
I don't know. You said the game was just okay, wasn't it? Or did you like that one?
There's no real reason to play that game.
Yeah.
Unless you want to hear chaos a million times.
Right.
I mean, if you're an appreciator of dumb, it's a pretty good time.
Yeah.
But you have to really be in the mood for, well, this is going to be dumb because it gets dumber than you think.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to watch a spoiler video because I don't know if I want to play through that game. I don't that doesn't count as like a numbered Final Fantasy, right?
No. It's an unnecessary prequel to Final Fantasy 1.
Okay. Because my goal is to complete every numbered Final Fantasy game that isn't an MMO.
That's a goal.
Not like by the end of the year, but
in life.
Yeah, I just love to be able to say that I did that.
Yeah,
anyway,
I would love to do that too.
So I started with Final Fantasy 2, which was Final Fantasy 2 in Japan. I think it was released in the United States on PlayStation 1 in the Final Fantasy Origins collection.
Right.
But then when it came to the United States on Super Nintendo, wasn't it Final Fantasy 5?
It didn't come to Super Nintendo in the United States.
Oh, it didn't? Where did it come?
Because Final Fantasy 2 was 4 and Final Fantasy 3 was 6.
Oh, okay. So did 4 come to the States?
4 came to the States as 2, but
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But we didn't get 2 and 5. Wait, we didn't get 2, 3, or 5 until
the Origins and the Chronicles.
Yeah.
So anyway, I knew nothing about this game and kind of went into it a little. I mean, I say blind. I did some research on how to build my characters and whatnot because I want to make sure I'm doing it right. Final Fantasy 1 looks, again, I'm playing pixel remastered, so it doesn't look exactly like the original. The sprites are the same and all that, but anyway, it plays very similar in terms of like the map. Stuff on the map looks the same. You know what I mean? Like the way you go around from place to place and the airships and everything looks the same, but fundamentally it plays so much differently. And dude, I gotta say, this game feels like it was way ahead of its time because, dude, it's really impressive what they did. And I was kind of nervous to play it because people really poo-pooed this game. I said it was like the weakest in the series, and it's not. It's not great in story. It's very much just like, oh, evil empire, we got to take over, but then some fantastical stuff happens along the way, which is pretty cool. So it has interesting moments, but there's not a fantastic story. But the characters actually speak in this one. If you remember in Final Fantasy,
they tried to tell a story in this one, right?
Right. I mean, the first one had a story, but the only dialogue you ever read was other characters that you talked to. Like your characters didn't have any personality. In this one, they have a personality. Like one of my heavy hitters. Like whenever he speaks like a caveman. Like, I'm reading it in dialogue or whatever. The main character has a specific way to talk and all this. It's, so you're having these conversations, but then they do some things that are just so interesting. And the most notable is the leveling system. So there are no character levels. You know how like in a normal Final Fantasy game, you go up a level and then some stats increase, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not what happens in Final Fantasy 2. In Final Fantasy 2, your magic and your items go up in levels. So if I'm carrying a sword, if I use this sword for long enough, it goes up to a level 2 sword and then a level 3 sword. If I use my cure spell so many times, it goes up to a 2 and 3 and 4. So instead of it being like cure and then cura and curaga, it just does like cure 1, cure 2, cure 3, all the way up to cure 16 is the max I read that you can go to on these. So with magic, that makes perfect sense. It's not a problem. You just obviously level those up, but you level up what you're using. It reminds me of like Skyrim. Like how like whatever you use in Skyrim is what goes up. But what's interesting is with the equipment. So you know how in a Final Fantasy game you're always stumbling across new weapons and new armor. So there's this push and pull between, do I want to hang on to this sword that I've got that I've leveled up, or do I want this new shinier one that I got to start leveling up from level 1 again? You know what I mean? So you got to kind of go through the motions to level up your weapons and armor and shields and stuff as you go. And it's just, it's interesting because it sounds like you could break it, but I feel like no matter what you do, you're able to just go grind a little bit and get your stats up. And it's just really cool because you could do anything that you want. It's you want to put swords on your mage, you can. You know what I mean? It's just, it's as long as you take the time to level it up.
I like that the wild experimentation of the mainline Final Fantasy game started right away.
Exactly. It's just really cool. I am really digging it. Oh, first sign of a chocobo. Got a chocobo, and they played that song was there. And they do this password system. And when I saw password system, I immediately thought like, to save your game. No, it's like when you come across a character, an NPC character, they will say something to you, and one of the words will be highlighted in red or green or something. And so then you have a menu that you have to learn that word. And now you've learned that word, and it goes into like your library of words. So then when you go talk to another NPC, you have the ability to ask them a question, and you say ask, and you pick one of the words. And then you're going and that's how you have to do that in order to progress the game. You have to ask the right questions to the right people. I thought it was really cool, man. And again, I'm not playing it on the original Famicom, so it's not it's probably not as arduous as it could be, but it's really, really good. I'm at the tail end of it already, if you believe it. I've got like two more chapters to go, and it's just cool because I feel like I'm in this spot where I'm going to keep going, and they're going to progressively get better and better. Because I heard that 3 is where they introduce the classes or the job systems, and then 4 is when the story starts getting really good in them, and then I get to cap the whole thing off with 6, which I've played but never completed, and it's just going to be a glorious, glorious experience, and I'm totally digging it. So.
Right, and 4 and 6 are beloved.
Yes, and I've never even touched 4, so very, very stoked to see what's going to happen.
You think you're still going to keep going at this pace through these?
I don't know. My goal was 3 by the end of the year, and after I finished 1, I just wanted to keep going. I still have to fire up Final Fantasy Renaissance. I tried to get it installed on my Steam Deck, and it's a lot of steps. Like you have to go into, you have to put it in desktop mode, and you have to create folders and go to the website and download this, and it's a bunch of steps, and I'm terrible at that. So.
And for those that may not know, Final Fantasy Renaissance is a remake of Final Fantasy 1.
Yes, Brandon Smith created the entire game from the ground up with new classes and achievements and fixed the bugs. And it's I haven't played it personally, but everyone that has says that it's just an amazing, amazing thing that he's doing. So be sure to check out.
It is amazing. I've played it.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah, that's my only experience with FF1. I didn't play it all the way through because it was it's pretty cool, but you kind of want your first experience to be the original.
I mean, you have a much closer experience to the original than I do because I'm playing Pixel Remastered, and that game makes it a lot easier for you. Yeah. So, but anyway, speaking of, I didn't even realize until today that the Pixel Remaster has some bonus things in it for you. You can actually change the settings so it will automatically give you 4 times the experience and 4 times the gil as you go through, but I refuse to do that. I just feel like that will like kind of make the experience not as cool. So I may do it to grind out some achievements after I finish the game, but just didn't want you to think I was cheating at it because
appreciate the
I am
clarification.
Yeah, I'm really, really digging it, man. I mean, so do these 6. I've already beat 7 several times. Then I'm going to go through 8, and I'm going to play 9, Zach.
Finally.
Never played 10, never played 10-2. 11's an MMO, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
12's an MMO?
No.
12's is like a straight up...
It's 11 and 14.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't even know what 12 is then.
12 is from the Final Fantasy Tactics director. So it's like a kind of a hardcore RPG.
Oh no!
It's like kind of a you'll figure it out, Scott.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, I meant like it.
12 puts a spin on the turn-based.
Sure, the combat. I'm talking about like the setting is more traditional medieval fantasy, I guess you would say. Yeah,
gotcha.
A little more. It's a little bit meaner than the other Final Fantasies. I would argue.
Okay. And
12,
I've beaten. Go ahead.
12 is Quest 64 in a fancy cloak.
Let's calm down there.
I mean, he's
Pump
not
the brakes, man.
wrong.
Well, hold on. First of all, Quest 64 is great. All right.
You're the first person I've ever heard say Quest 64.
The last time I played it, I was 7, so I don't know how great it really is. But it was great when I was 7.
I loved Quest 64, but yeah.
Jackson Hampton says that Final Fantasy 12 is one of his favorites of Final Fantasy, so I guess I got something to look forward to.
No.
Jake disagrees.
I don't know, dude. I liked it.
Anyway, I beat 13. I love 13. I feel like I was in the minority.
Yeah, I love it.
I did too.
Yeah.
14's an MMO. I'm going to skip that one. I beat 15 and I beat 16. So
are you going to do? So you should do 10 and 10-2. Are you going to do 13-2 and Lightning Returns as well?
Oh man, I forgot about that. Does that count?
Yeah,
I tried.
They're numbered.
If 10-2 counts, then surely they do.
I tried 13-2 Lightning Returns. I did not like that game.
My problem is that 13 has such a great ending that it immediately has to undermine it for the sequel.
And then there's a whole other third one too.
Right, and that one sounds cool, but that whole game is a timer, so I can't imagine you're gonna have a thrilling time.
Great. Anyway, that is my adventure with Final Fantasy. I am totally loving this. I'm calling it an experiment. It's not like an experiment, but it's like
it's a journey.
It's an experience.
It is a great experience because this is like a huge empty blank spot on my gaming life, and I'm fulfilling it, and it just feels awesome to do it, and I'm looking forward to the journey. So there you have it. All right, so I'm the only one that played anything old. You guys all did the hard work this week and played the new games, but before we do that, why don't we go ahead and jump into the week's news? Not a whole lot happening this week except for one big story, so we're going to kind of focus on Sony's State of Play that was this past week. Did anybody watch this live? I did not watch it live. I watched a recap.
No, I watched a recap.
I watched it at work. Hope they're not listening.
Like, do you just like have a phone set up like at a table, or what do you?
Yeah. So I have like a workstation that has a shelf, so I put it on the little shelf and I just watch these things live.
Okay, I had to go back and I actually watched the whole thing, like front to back, in preparation. Some interesting things were shown here. Jacob, I know you've been playing Monster Hunter Wilds. Did you see anything from the new trailer that stood out to you or got you more excited?
Yes, it brings back a lot of fan favorites of fan favorite monsters, including the Grav Voice and the Yankudku. So I didn't know those were going to be in there.
I thought he was talking about the bad guy from Samurai Jack.
Aku. No. But yeah, I saw that was going to be first, and I kind of was like, okay, Monster Hunter trailer, and I was watching it, and then I saw that they had like more monster updates and previews in that one than I've seen at other places, and I just instantly got excited again. I couldn't help it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for you.
He was like, Monster Hunter, yay!
What did you guys think of Shinobi Art of Vengeance? Because I have thoughts about this.
I mean, the art style's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is.
That game looks fun.
I got nothing. I mean, I'm happy for people, and this kind of like the Ninja Gaiden. Shout out to the fans.
He was in the bathroom during that scene.
What? What? I saw.
You're watching it live.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. It looked fine.
I'm kind of with you, Zach, on this one. Like, I know that the Ninja Gaiden 2D one was announced, and that one looked pretty sick. But this one, they said on the marquee that this is from the developers of Streets of Rage 4, which kind of didn't get me excited because even watching the gameplay, it looks like it's more of a beat 'em up than like a traditional 2D ninja kind of game. I don't know. Am I just reading the room wrong on that one?
I think it kind of it plays more like Dead Cells.
Okay, I mean, I love Dead Cells.
So that's the kind of game it looks like. So I would.
Does it?
And I keep your hopes up. I don't know if it plays exactly like Dead Cells, but that seems to be kind of the play style of it.
Like the actual like mechanics, you mean? Not like
not
like
the actual
when you go through levels and stuff.
No.
That's a key part of Dead Cells.
Yeah, that's a rogue. I'm not sure that this is going to be a rogue. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a rogue.
Yeah, it seems like a level-to-level kind of thing. And I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever played a Shinobi game. Wasn't there like a Shinobi game that was like in first person and you're throwing like ninja stars?
Oh, yeah.
At targets and stuff like that. And then there was like Shinobi made a comeback because I remember the commercial on TV. They had Hero from Heroes going, Shinobi's back.
Hero from Heroes.
Was that the PS2 one where he had like super long scarf?
I think so, yes.
I played that one.
Was that Strider?
That was good. No, that wasn't Strider. Strider doesn't have the Shinobi. I'm thinking of it was like a PS2 game, and he had like a scarf that was so long it was down to his butt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
CB, what about you? Anything from here stand out?
Now, like from the whole list?
Yeah.
No, wait.
Oh, God. Whoa, that's.
I thought we were still talking about Shinobi because I was like, now that I've looked at looked at it again, I'm like, yes, I see the comparison.
I feel like it being our only news story, shouldn't we just run them down real quick? Or
yeah, I think we should just go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I was just throw it in the deep end. Like,
all right, Zach, go ahead. Why don't you list through them?
Okay, Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Anybody excited about this?
No.
Nope. Yeah. No.
Kevin is.
I mean, I'm excited. Shadows.
It looks decent.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of over kart racing. We talked about that even with Mario Kart. I'm just like
Sonic Kart 64.
Yeah.
But are you over? I'm sorry. Go ahead, CP.
I was gonna say kart racers do need to take a backseat for a while.
What needs to replace it?
Nothing.
Not kart racers.
Like legitimate racing.
I mean, there's plenty of those too. Speaking of, I drunkenly bought a bunch of games on Steam the other day. Or I bought a game on Steam, one that Grant said it was in his top 5 or whatever, and I can't remember which site it was, but they do like hey, for $2 you can get like a mystery bundle of whatever games, and one of them was like I bought that, and one of them was like Garfield Kart Racer, and I'm like, thanks.
That's the dice you throw though.
Yeah, exactly.
At least it's not Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh,
what do you just shoot? You just crapping all the N64 today, huh?
No,
I love 64 games.
He's just bringing up Diddy Kong for the baby oil.
I see what you did there.
Diddy
Kong Racing, another banger.
Speaking of, one of my students came to me today at school, not making this up, and he showed me on his laptop a project that a buddy of his in school was doing. They're doing a project in one of their graphic art classes where they're supposed to make a movie poster. And they made a movie poster, and it was called At the Diddy Party.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
And they took a picture of me in my Buddy the Elf costume and put it in the background with a bunch of other people. And I don't feel really comfortable with that at all.
Funny as hell, though. You're just chilling. You're just watching. This doesn't mean you have to participate.
But I got my armor on Santa Claus. It's it made me feel a little uncomfortable.
Those kids took the extra effort to like track down a picture of you in an elf costume.
And they're thinking about you.
Yeah, come on.
Well, no, I had wore the costume to school at Christmas, and it got posted on the school's Facebook page, and that's where they got it. It wasn't like they, anyway.
They were still thinking about you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Get the baby oil.
They were thinking of Diddy parties, and they couldn't help but think about their favorite teacher, Scott Clark.
Oh my God, it kind of made me feel uncomfortable. I said, please tell him to remove my picture from that. I don't like that because kids, do they know?
Yes,
what that means?
Sorry.
Sure. Oh,
Sorry, it's public access. It's on the internet, Scott. It's there forever.
But I don't know if they know. I don't know.
They know.
Oh, they know.
Oh, they
know.
Yeah.
They're in the 8th grade. They know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt, Zach. Go ahead with the list.
No, I'm happy you interrupted. Digimon Story Time Stranger get announced?
Oh,
Okay,
really?
Oh, I love Digimon.
I
Okay.
was.
Have
All
you-
right.
I mean,
but I want to go back to like the OG formula.
What cards?
Digimon World.
Oh,
Yeah.
The PS1 game where you want to watch your Digimon poop.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes. I want to take care of my Digimon. Love
and that
it.
game is great. But Jacob, have you played the other Digimon Story games, like the Cyber Sleuth games?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't played Digimon games since. Oh God, they were on PlayStation. Then they went to PS2. Then they went to the DS, and I think I stopped playing after the DS.
Okay.
It
Well,
was weird.
guess it's time to jump back in.
Maybe I saw it. I was super excited. So anyway,
And the Lost Soul Aside got a release date for May 30th. This is a China where one of PlayStation's China Hero project releases. She's really pick up indie games from China and help distribute them. This game looks cool, but I don't know, something about it feels off to me.
I don't know what's going on. I got hints of Final Fantasy VIII a little bit, like Squall and Renoa.
JRPG Teemo edition.
I mean, it's pretty ambitious for a game that started from one dude. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It's one dude.
So that's why it got announced like 7 years ago, and it's finally coming out.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Then they surprise dropped a demo for Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Quick announcement of some Dave the Diver Yakuza crossover DLC that's coming out this holiday. The Dave the Diver, man, is just a game that won't stop, huh?
It's great. Did you ever play it?
No, I never did.
Dave the Diver is the new Shovel Knight.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is an interesting comparison.
Splitgate 2 is getting an alpha, and then WWE 2K25 I think got a demo as well, right? But then the show screeched to a halt for me as I had to stare into the face of Randy Pitchford.
Randy and Randy.
Yep.
Randy.
Mm-hmm.
Coming at you with the level of humor and charm you would expect from a Borderlands release.
No,
therefore none.
Their humor in that show was very dry.
But yeah, well, anyway, Borderlands 4 got a release date. It's coming everywhere. September 23rd. I don't know if anybody here is excited for Borderlands 4.
No.
Yeah.
It's a toss up in my house.
Yeah.
I'm not excited, but I will probably play it because I got a group that we used to play, every Friday, and we need something to play together. So maybe this will revitalize that, but I'm not going to be happy about picking it up.
Borderlands 4. Please forget that we made a movie.
Yes, they're begging you.
Oh man, I hope they make a reference somewhere in there. Like,
I'm sure.
I'm sure there's plenty of toilets in Borderlands 4.
Well, Randy Pitchford thinks the movie's amazing, so it'll probably be a very glowing, a little glowing reception. The only takeaway I had from Borderlands 4 getting a release date September 23rd is that guarantees GTA 6 is not coming out until after that, since it's the same parent company. So October, November, December. If GTA 6 makes it this year, it's going to be probably October, I imagine. But then we get to see some more Split Fiction, which got a release date in March 6th. Or I think we already knew that actually, but it's around the corner. Dude, It Takes Two was so good.
It really was.
Yeah.
And we played that. It was like a 20-hour game, wasn't it? And we did that in like a weekend.
I think it was like 15, 20. Longer than you would expect for sure.
But it never got old. It never got boring.
It was a new idea every 10 minutes.
Yeah. It was great.
I'm replaying it with my wife, and it's astonishing how quickly you're cycling through stuff to do.
Did you play the opposite character?
I did. I played the husband this time.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a completely different experience. You're doing like different things.
Yeah, it's very different. Yeah, because I was like, oh man, I remember doing the 2D fighter game on the back of the plane. Where Scott was stuck piloting.
Yeah. What a crazy ride that way. And dark. Have you got to the dark part yet?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Staring him. Yeah, good stuff. We got some more footage of the next Dark Pictures game, the Directive 8020 space horror coming October 2nd. CB, you look excited.
Oh, dude,
space.
I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah.
After the what was it, the last one? I was just kind of like,
yeah, The Devil in Me.
Yeah, I was just like, I felt like they'd lost momentum. This just feels like they just slammed on the gas and were like, let's go.
I'm glad they took a couple years off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let them get their feet back. Alyssa, are you well versed in the series as well then?
I've played several, yeah.
Yeah, of the 4. Cool.
So I'm really looking forward, and that trailer just like gives me goosebumps. So
I mean, it looks great. You know, it's very alien vibes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Am I gonna have to play the other 8019 directives to know what's going on?
I love it. Every time there's a number in the title, you got some jokester coming out of here.
Well, it's I kind of like, I don't like when it's just like some random arbitrary number.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sure it'll be explained.
That's why
at some point in the game, you're like, oh, they said the name. Oh,
there's that stupid Kingdom Hearts with like a 10-digit number in the title.
What's a fraction?
Yeah, it's pretty ballsy.
But it's just like, that is the dumbest title I've ever seen.
Kingdom Hearts Pie.
I know. Dream Drop Distance is still a worse name. Also Kingdom Hearts. Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, come June 13th. I don't know. No thanks.
It's time to put that franchise to bed for a while too.
There's no way, dude. It makes so much money. Kids love Freddy's.
I know it does. But why can't we have a Willy's Wonderland game instead?
Because Willy's Wonderland was Temu Five Nights at Freddy's.
Right.
I enjoyed it way more.
I'm not saying it was better or worse. I'm just saying it is the Wish.com version.
Isn't it the one with Nicolas Cage in it?
Where he doesn't say a word the entire movie.
That's why.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. The Midnight Walk is coming to May 8th. It's a creepy looking game where you play the Candle Boy.
Yeah, I like the claymation of it.
Yeah,
dude, this looks really interesting.
Oh yeah, PSVR 2 even.
Yeah, just I don't know, man. Like, you remember Leica Studios?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like the Coraline movies and everything, and all that stuff was real, right? There was no animation or drawings. Everything you saw in those movies was an actual prop.
Right.
And this looks like that, and I just think it's really cool to put that into a video game form. Because normally that stop motion style drives me nuts. We've talked about that in the past, but for something like that, it just works for me, and I can't tell you why, but I definitely want to play that one.
There's a guy in this trailer that looks like like he was just ripped off from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Like literally, like the entire thing. When they're sitting around a campfire, it looks like the mayor of Halloween Town.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
I'm just like that like blatant rip off of that character.
Are you singing the song?
Yeah, he sure is.
Jackson brings up a good point that Midnight Walk can be played in VR.
Well,
so
as did I when I said it, but
yeah, he's at PSVR.
Oh, my bad. I must have missed it. I wasn't listening.
Yeah, which is interesting. So it's non-VR as well. So I was confused because it looks like you're a first-person character helping the candle guy. Is that right? Okay. Yeah.
So kind of like the one giant game or Moss.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's that perspective screams to me that it should be played in VR.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So I don't know if I'll check. It feels like if I played it on PS5, it would be playing a compromised version of it. If it has a non-VR version, I assume it does.
It says it comes out on PlayStation too.
Right.
You read it.
I know that. I just meant that it's I don't does PlayStation make the distinction when they announce something that PS5 is separate from PSVR 2?
I think they're just using the VR as a TV on your face rather than
Okay. I don't know. I just don't know enough about this world. Okay, Jacob.
Well, I put both of them on there because they differentiated.
That's what I was asking. Yeah.
I
don't.
They said it was both.
Yeah, just there's not a lot of games that are both.
Mm-hmm.
that that release at the same time. They'll do a VR mode later or a VR version later.
Yeah, like Resident Evil.
Yeah, but Darwin's Paradox. Was he played the octopus game, right? This one, but
that looked kind of cute actually.
Konami publishing it. So random. How did that happen?
I don't know.
So weird. But they look kind of cute. Warriors Abyss is a Samurai Warriors roguelike spinoff that got released during the state of play.
I love it when stuff like that happens.
Yeah, the shadow drops are cool. I just wish they would do them for games I want to play.
Yeah.
We saw some more of Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny remaster coming out on May 23rd. I'm excited about this. I still got to play the first Onimusha, but I think it's cool that they're putting in the work to get these back. Even if it is one by one.
Never played one. I don't really even know anything.
Did they remaster the first one?
They did, yeah. It's on PS4.
Oh, okay.
So that's cool. Just saying, it lets me catch up, unlike Metroid Prime, where they just release the first one and then walk away. It's nice. But then it followed up by seeing Son of Onimusha Way of the Sword, which is the brand new one. The combat looks super cool, but it's weird that a dead actor is the face of the character. I don't really know about that, but because it's Toshiro Mifune's likeness.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's weird. I'm sure his family signed off on it, but it's not going to be not weird.
Yeah, I could see how that would raise some eyebrows. I didn't know that. I don't think I would have known until you told me.
I didn't know that, but I like the character in the game. The silly little antics that are in the antics that are in the trailer,
which is fun because it feels like all the other games have a very serious lead. So, yeah.
Well, it's like really serious. He's walking to the steps, and then all those guys show up, and it just shows him turning around, and running away.
Yeah, good on him. Who would want to fight demons? We saw some more of Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, the MGS3 remake that got dated for August 28th. I mean, this game looks cool, but I don't know. It's to me, it's just the $70 for a shot-for-shot remake. I guess it just comes down to your own view. It just feels like a lot to me.
I'm with you.
Take my money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Unreal, right? Unreal 5.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's also just like you can play a remastered version of it right now.
Yeah.
of the game. So really, you're just paying $70 just for Unreal Engine update because it's the same voice acting, and which means all the cutscenes will have to be the same. So it's just a shot-for-shot Unreal visual upgrade for $70. Just
I want to ask you something about this game because I've never played it, but I heard something today. I don't know if I can do this without potentially spoiling it, but I'm going to try.
Okay.
I read that there is an encounter in that game with an unusual way that you can take out.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's 100% true? Like don't say what it was if you know what it is.
Yes,
like an older gentleman.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they'll keep that in there, but
I hope so. It's part of the game, and it's so funny.
That is kind of that takes some. How did someone just figure that out? Or like
I don't know. Yeah, we just knew as kids somehow.
Yeah.
So that boss battle is rather slow, so it could have been someone just
not that slow.
They can be.
I feel like my friend just saved during that boss fight. Then we played like SOCOM for a few weeks, and then when we went back to Metal Gear Solid, that just happened. Yeah,
but didn't he have the game? Don't you have the game on?
No,
you can just save and come back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You don't have to leave the game running.
Correct.
No. I mean, can we just say it? Like, is this?
Yeah, I don't know why we're dancing around from a 20-year-old optional boss fight end spoiler. That's so weird that we're dancing around that.
All right, fine, skip it.
So in the game, you can leave the guy you're fighting is a sniper that's really old.
His name is The End.
Yeah, right. The End.
And you can just stop the game and come back literally 8 real days later, and he will have died of old age.
It's pretty great. That's so Hideo. There's another part where when you get like captured as a POW. But if you save then and you come back, you wake up in Snake's dream, where it's like a hack and slash demon hunting game that you play.
That's rad.
So I hope they remade that too.
And it's also infamous for the long ladder, right?
Hell yeah.
An entire song that goes.
I hope they remade that too.
It's not often that a ladder climbing sequence would be one of the best parts of the whole game, but it is.
It is.
I mean actually MGS3 is really just like a whole game full of some of the best moments on PS2.
Yes. Yeah.
It's very good.
I need to play it because I fell off hard on that one.
It looks amazing in the the original version holds up.
Yes. And I'm super excited because the trailer had a monkey in it.
Sure did.
Ape Escape.
Ape Escape. And so that was, if I remember correctly, it was in the original. And if they kept all of the little secrets and stuff everywhere, it's going to be so much fun.
You know they're going to, because they would piss off their entire fan base if they took it out.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I wonder what the Xbox version will have.
Not fun,
because it will not be monkeys. Oh, you know, I'm so sorry. I think I read it was little Bombermans. I don't know if that's true or not.
That would have been good too.
Yeah, on the Xbox. Well, after that, we saw some more of Hell Is Us coming September 4th. This is was an action Souls-like looking thing, but the game is very prideful that it's not giving you any directions during the whole game. You just have to find stuff, listen to characters. I think it looks really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see one of the characters looks like Todd Howard in the trailer?
No, I did not.
I'm not joking. Go to about the 57, 58 second mark of the trailer.
Oh,
this dude straight up looks like Todd Howard. I did a double take. I had to go back and look and be like, did I see that wrong? But I thought it was pretty funny. The game looks cool though. You got that little
57, 58
hover thing flying next to you, whatever. It looks slick. It looks dark. It looks gritty.
Are you talking about the character with the beanie on?
No, he's got curly hair.
Yeah, it's what am I at? 50. I'm at 58.
59. Yeah.
So I guess if you're at home or listening, go to the 59 second mark of the Hell Is Us trailer.
We're so sorry.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think the game looks cool. I think it's fun that it's like the world. It doesn't sound like the whole world is destroyed, just this country, and that's kind of a fun spin. Like there's just like one country is apocalyptic while the rest of the world is okay.
Well, I didn't realize that from the trailer. That's pretty cool.
Got, like, what's happening over there?
Yeah. Was it like 28 days later where there's like a plane flying over Britain? Yeah.
When he's laying on the grass and he sees the plane flying over.
That always was cool to me because it implies that Britain is messed up and everyone else is like, well, let's leave them alone.
Not touching that.
Yeah, so I had that vibe with Hell's Us. Lies of P Overture DLC coming to Lies of P 2 years later, I guess.
Yep.
I assume it's going to be beefy expansion. Dreams of Another. I have no recollection of this game whatsoever. Anybody else?
Well, yeah, because there's someone else's dreams.
It's the one that looks kind of like a painting. Remember, like it was like it's almost got like shooter vibes to it, but he's not actually killing things. He's like
it shoots into existence. Yeah.
I remember that because I was bummed it wasn't just a shooter.
Yeah.
It is a shooter, but you create things with destruction.
I understand, but we don't get a lot of like cover-based shooters anymore, like we did back when everything was ripping off Gears of War.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe we were gonna get one, but no, it's got all this fun spin on it. Ugh.
Fun.
Yeah, who wants that?
And then Zach, we finally got the remaster that everybody's been asking for.
Dude, no one would shut up about Days Gone needing a remaster. Coming to PS5 April 25th. Yeah. I love Days Gone. I think it's great. Truly.
I really liked it.
I might actually try this game now.
I put over 70 hours into it. Adored it. What in the hell are we doing here?
It was a PS4 game. Like that one still works fine. I mean, you can upgrade it for $10, I suppose.
Right.
Nope. We're just remastering last generation.
I mean, I appreciate that. As with The Last of Us Part 2, they're adding a new kind of mode, a new thing to do. That's nice.
Like,
so if you're a big fan, yeah. Well, then there's just some kind of new horde mode that's like an arcade style spin on it.
Yeah.
Which is cool because The Last of Us Part 2 had that roguelike mode. And that, I guess, if you adore Days Gone, you want more. I can see that might be a $10 DLC anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So the upgrade's not so bad. But if you look at the comparison trailer they put out for the graphics, I don't believe anyone can see the difference. It is so minuscule.
Right. Again, more ray tracing, more light beams.
It's
well, I mean, even if you go back and look at the trailer at Onimusha 2, they're like, oh, we did HD graphics everywhere, and I was like, where are they?
Yeah,
we edged those polygons a little harder.
Right.
I understand PlayStation's just trying to fill gaps because they wasted all that time on live service games, but I don't think it's a good look.
No.
But it doesn't matter.
Where's Infamous?
Yeah, why not remaster the games people would actually need access to?
Infamous and Infamous 2, I would just love to have those as a duo pack.
Resistance, Killzone, yeah. Let's get Warhawk and Starhawk. Let's get those going.
Yes.
So, what was it? Split Fiction? I was watching it with my kid, and I said, if I wanted a 2-player game to do this, I want a remake of Army of Two. I don't want the Split Fiction.
You know what?
I don't even understand how you compare those in your brain. They're so different, but
because as Split Fiction is happening, it's doing the side by side.
Yeah,
and it's and whatever. And I was just like, I don't want.
I mean, Army of Two is great. Don't get me wrong.
Sony, come on. Where is the remaster of Lair?
No.
Resurrect Factor 5. Let's get them out there to bring back Lair. Ridiculous.
Oh my, my little dragon riding game.
Yeah, Jackson Hampton agrees with us. Yeah, Infamous 1, 2. Please remaster those bad boys.
I don't know why that's. I just feel like we're not alone. I feel like everybody wants that.
It's out of touch CEOs remastering last generation.
Well, that could be a Sucker Punch, right? That could be a Sucker Punch decision too.
Yes, I think it is actually. I think they've said that. I know they said that no one would ever make an Infamous game. They would never let another studio make an Infamous game. And I know ultimately it's not their choice, but it's probably in PlayStation's best interest to keep them happy. So maybe they just don't want anybody else remastering it.
That decision might go down in infamy.
Either want to be famous, then I'll make it infamous.
Though I did buy a remaster yesterday.
Well, that's a lot.
It's not your time, CB.
No, because this one will make Zack happy. I got a physical copy of Lollipop Chainsaw.
Oh,
nice.
The repop one.
Oh, things are repopping, all right.
For Switch.
Oh,
so it's just Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Did he repop?
Repop and
Chainsaw pop.
Yeah. Now, speaking of popping, Stellar Blade is getting a Goddess of Victory Nikke crossover DLC. This is unsurprising as it is owned by the same people, or the same developer made both. But Goddess, I don't know if you guys have played Goddess of Victory Nikke, but it is a mobile game that goes through any excuse it can to make sure you're looking at the butts of the characters you get at the gacha.
I mean,
so Stellar Blade right at home.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Some butt appreciation going on here. They announced a bunch of PlayStation Plus games. I don't know if this excites anybody, but
Jake's gonna be busy for a bit.
Shut up.
The Armored Core games are coming.
I have already been going off on my kids about this.
About which
I just spent $200 buying 2 games from Armored Core, and they released all 3 of the original sets.
Slapping you in the face.
Oh,
as well as Patapon 3. They got it, so that's something.
And Lost Records, Bloomin' Rage, day 1, day and date, right?
Yeah,
came today, right? Released today.
Yes, the evening of this recording.
Yes,
we'll have more to say later. Brand new game got announced: Tides of Annihilation, coming to PS5. This is a new Tencent China game. This is a part of their 2-pronged approach to make big budget action games. The first was Black Myth Wukong, which was supposed to target fans of Eastern style games, and this is supposed to target fans of Western style games. All that is to say, dude, this game looks pretty cool.
It does.
It does, yeah.
I'm not gonna for about the first 30 or 40 seconds. I thought maybe this was Nier 3.
Whoa!
Because of the destroyed world and the action combat, and Lord knows Yoko Taro's never worked with the same developer twice, so who knows who's making Nier 3? So I was like, oh, maybe, and it wasn't, but it still looks rad. the kind of destroyed Earth stuff. All the characters having Arthurian legend names is pretty cool. So obviously that's going to be playing a role. I don't know. It looked pretty cool. It was a hell of a debut.
Yeah, it was.
And they put out a 11-minute gameplay trailer as well, like the day after the state of play.
Right. Yeah. So they showed up with receipts.
Yeah,
which is nice. Not every game does that, as we'll later talk about. I don't know, but Alyssa, are you interested in this game?
Oh yeah, it looks really cool.
Looks very twitchy, a little twitchy for me.
It looks much more Devil May Cry than Dark Souls.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got. Devil May Cry.
Yeah, I think which I'm on board for.
I love me some Devil May Cry, so yeah, I'm really interested in this game.
Very nice. Then we got Metal Eden coming May 6th. I don't remember this game either. I'm going to be honest,
dude.
Yeah, I don't either.
After watching this trailer, shut up. After watching this trailer, I got such Ghost in the Shell vibes.
Yes, I can see that.
What the hell is this game? Why did I not remember? Why did it not make an impact? I don't know,
but I'm for it. I like the way it looks. I like the way it moves. Like some of the gameplay stuff that they did show looks just like hyper, like crazy.
Oh, I do remember this. A sci-fi FPS. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks fine. Did it not look a little generic to you? I thought it looked a little generic.
It does, but it like I said, I'm getting such Ghost in the Shell vibes from it that I'm like, yes.
All right.
I love Ghost in the Shell, so
it does. I mean, I love Ghost in the Shell as well, but I don't know. I've only seen the movie. It didn't remind me of the movie. Not the Scarlett Johansson one, just to be clear.
Oh, yeah.
Before
that's not a thing. That's not a thing. We don't talk about it.
Yeah. But that's one of those rare movies where I buy it. Every format upgrade, I go ahead and pick up. It's a very good movie.
It is.
Then after that, we got Mind's Eye coming this summer. This is a near future sci-fi action game with some driving elements. It's from Leslie Benzies, game director of Rockstar Games fame.
You know what game this one reminded me of? And I cannot remember the name of it, but the one that had like the full motion video segments in between it. You know what I'm talking about? Yes.
Right.
It's like reminded me of Quantum Break a little bit in the gameplay. You don't have the powers or whatever, but I don't know. It just the way it moved reminded me very much of Quantum Break.
It reminded me of the old PS2 game Headhunter, which so any big Headhunter fans out there, you'll be stoked that I just referenced it for you. But that game is cool. I think this game looked very cool. This might have stood out the most to me with the combining driving and the cover-based shooting I was talking about, which I just don't feel like we see enough of.
Just see that slide in where he comes like behind the truck, and you're like,
yeah, it looks pretty slick, man.
You're like, I'm getting a little bit of like, just feel like that Gears fast pace.
Yes. Oh, Sean, Retro Gamer Online steps into the chat and says, "I'm all over Mind's Eye, a cyberpunk open world for one of the guys behind GTA. You kidding me?" Yeah, man. Sean, with you.
There.
I couldn't help but notice the guy that was playing the trailer couldn't shoot anything.
Maybe it's tough. The write-ups for it say that combat is supposed to, every fight is supposed to be difficult, which is exciting for a shooter because that is not always the case. Not since Rainbow Six Vegas have I felt threatened in a shootout.
The original Rainbow Six Vegas.
I was making a call out to an awesome game. That's all I was trying to do.
So rude.
Why? It's incredible.
It is incredible.
That game scared the crap out of me.
You're being facetious.
I was being hyperbolic, Jacob, on purpose. It's true. But usually you feel powerful in a firefight was my point.
Yes.
And allegedly this game will not be the case. And that's cool. But yeah, the story I think looks interesting, acting, blah blah blah. Looks great. I'm all over it. Give it to me now. If it came out tomorrow, I'd play the hell out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we finished off brand new Housemarque game, Saros. Coming to PS5 2026. CG trailer of Rahu Kohli's face. I don't understand this announcement whatsoever. What are we doing here?
It looks awesome.
Does it?
Did you play it?
So it's got a very religious, like Hindu vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
just because the guy's got like 7 arms doesn't mean it's Hindu.
I mean, the headdress and everything like that straight up looks like Shiva.
That's true. Like it's
Yeah, all the
that is-
vibes look cool, but it was a weird announcement trailer to me. CG, what are you doing?
I feel like they could have gotten away with calling it Returnal 2.
Yes, I agree.
Like, even though it's not the same character, it's clearly when they zoom in on the eye and you see the spiraling projectiles, like, oh, it's going to be this exact same kind of game.
I did think it was funny as hell that the trailer is basically just a guy narrating what a roguelike is.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Well, even after the trailer is done, it goes like, come back stronger.
Right. So I guess it's letting you know that because Returnal was very much start all the way over when you die.
Oh,
So
they made live, die, repeat into a game.
Yes, I guess they're just letting you know this is as opposed to what is it? Just like a roguelike. This is a roguelite. Is that what they would say?
Oh yeah.
The distinction. I don't know. But
I
I
were
see.
points in Returnal that you could hit and start there at some point, weren't there?
Genre
Right.
names.
But you didn't have like a lot of permanent upgrades and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
I actually own a copy of Returnal. I bought when it was on sale for like $25 because like, oh, that's awesome. I want to play it. Still sitting in the shrink wrap, and this made me go, maybe I should go back and play that game. So, but Final Fantasy is a thing. So
might be the only game I could think of where you play as an old woman.
right. And you said who was the actor that's playing the guy in this one?
Rahul Kohli.
Is he? I don't know.
He
mid 40s. I don't know the actor.
He's in his age.
Yeah.
He's in his late 30s, so he's close to 40. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, it's just he's not as old as the woman in Returnal, but I don't know. It's just kind of
she doesn't look that old.
Zach, you got Watch Dogs Legions. You can play the old woman there.
He's grizzled. that's a little different. No, I just thought it was exciting that they finally, there's a game where you're playing as a grizzled old woman. That's just nice. Older woman, not ancient or anything. Jacob,
she's like in her 50s.
Yeah.
Rahul Kohli is probably most famous, Scott, for being Alana Pierce's boyfriend. If you ask me,
I didn't know that.
And also, he was on iZombie and a bunch of other. He was on Midnight Mass.
The Mike Flanagan shows.
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of stuff, but most famous to me for being Alana Pierce's boyfriend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lucky bastard.
Well, that's all we got for the news this week. Lots to talk about there. There were some other things. I think somebody in the chat mentioned that Assassin's Creed Shadows got delayed again. The May.
I couldn't find any confirmation of that. Not to undermine.
Oh, okay. I didn't take the time to look it up, obviously, because I'm recording. But
right,
wouldn't surprise me.
Just, whenever you talk, I just do other stuff.
I appreciate it.
I could just guess what you're gonna say.
Wow. I'm that much of a golden retriever, huh?
That's right.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into the new games that we've been playing.
He said the thing. Oh, sorry.
Zach, take it away, man. What can we pick up this week?
New games. Pretty short list this week. We started with Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC, February 21st. It's the latest entry in the long-running series. Please Be Happy comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and Switch, February 21st. Old school action game Ninja 5.0 gets re-released on PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC, February 25th. And then this one I just had to put on there because I thought it was a little bit funny. Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. It's coming to iOS and Android, February 27th, like a decade after it came out.
Yeah, dude. Hey, don't knock it. That game is actually pretty good.
I mean, both those little isometric Lara Croft spin-offs are great.
Yeah.
But yeah, very... I wonder what led to this decision.
Wasn't that one of the like Summer of Arcade ones where you bought like 5 of them and you got one free or whatever? Mm-hmm. I was not unhappy with that one, but I'm not going to pick it up on iOS, right? It's got to still be on Xbox, right?
Yes, I'm sure.
Kind of makes me want to go back and play that because that's a great co-op game.
It would be fun now because they had a weird DLC where you could play as Kain and Raziel from Legacy of Kain. Mm-hmm. And they repurposed dialogue from the games and spliced it into like making a story. like explaining why they were in this temple.
Oh yeah,
and I bet that would be so much fun now that I'm familiar with those characters. Dude, I don't know. It might be worth checking that mode out. I mean, that game is very good.
It really is, like, shockingly fun. And
did you play the sequel, Temple of Osiris?
No. Just the first one.
Oh man, it was good. There was also a Kane and Lynch DLC where you played as Kane and Lynch in the temple. They did the same thing where they like wove together dialogue to try to make it make sense.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, they were just having fun back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you had to pick one game this week, Scott, of the 4 options, what would it be?
I mean, I'm intrigued by Yakuza just because everybody is talking about Yakuza. There's a new game coming out every 9 months, it feels like.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I don't know if this is the one that would be a good place to start, so I'm probably not going to do that. I don't know where to start with this series, even if I want to.
I would have to imagine the pirate game has to be mostly standalone, right? How much mainline
kind of like Far Cry Blood Dragon?
Yeah, I would think.
That game's great. Right. So I'm just going to say Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light, but I'm not going to play it on iOS. I might try to talk someone into playing that with me on Xbox because I already have it.
That'd be fun. What about you, Alyssa?
Please be happy. It's just it's a visual novel. It's a girl's love, and wants you to be happy. So
whenever I see a game like this, I always think of you.
That makes my heart feel warm and fuzzy.
Wow. What about you, CB?
I kind of want to take a look at Ninja 5.0, but for a really weird reason. This is the first time. This is the first time I've seen like one of these like 16-bit era games that doesn't look like it was made on a Super Nintendo. This game like really looks to me like a TurboGrafx or like a Neo Geo game.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the provenance of this game. I just know a very small subsection of the world was stoked to hear it was coming back.
But like when you look at it, it doesn't look like a Super Nintendo game.
I hear you. Yeah,
it looks like later in the life cycle. So I'm just kind of like, okay, this is a little different than what I'm used to seeing. So I just kind of want to check it out to be like, okay, how does it play? How does it feel?
All right.
It looks like it would be really clunky. Like the jumping is not going to feel right.
But
the way you can appreciate
it does look like it's like on one of the more lesser known systems. So I'm just kind of like, because sometimes TurboGrafx games were a little clunky.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, different take on nostalgia.
What about you, Jacob?
I'm gonna go with Please Be Happy. That's what my ex used to tell me.
Oh.
You guys are so sad. If I had to pick one game, I've already played Lara Croft 100 times. But like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii looks great. I'll get to it in 4 years when I catch up to it.
Yeah, right.
But
add it to the pile.
Yeah, looks cool.
All right, Zach, I want to hear about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I know you were eagerly anticipating this one. You raved about the first one. What was the phrase they say all the time when you went up to them? Praise be Jesus Christ or something like that?
Jesus Christ be praised.
Jesus Christ be praised.
God be with you.
Even says with the accent.
So
God.
It's just ingrained.
So one of the things I heard about this game, in terms of being different from the first one, because I've been doing a tiny bit of research on this. In the first game, like, your character's illiterate, right?
Right, yes, that is true.
And you actually have to learn how to read. But you're playing as the same character in this game, so you're not doing that again. He knows how to read now, right?
Yeah.
But are there moments like that? Are there interesting things that you get to do with your character in this game like you did in the first one?
Things you learn? Yes. Well, first I want to show you just how excited I was. Because we have video now.
Oh my goodness.
This is the collector's edition. It's the size of a human child.
The people listening to this on the podcast,
they don't get to see that.
They're not going to be able to see this
incentive.
So, stop that.
Yeah, excuse me for caring about the audio, Jacob. Yeah,
like the same size as the Skyrim box.
Yeah, dude, it's massive. It has a little latch in the front, like it's a treasure chest you're opening up.
Oh, that's cool.
I was I was just making fun of the person whose last name is End the Game and Outsider.
So everybody that's not Scott?
No, that's her last name.
Well, see, when we're all 5 here, it's Scott and the Gaming Outsider.
So Alyssa's just an and?
Oh, wow. Yay.
You know what? At least she's more used. I'm just the.
As per usual, I'm the outsider.
Scott likes you that way. He doesn't invite you to anything.
You get pity tickets.
Yeah.
So Zach, tell me about the game.
Oh yeah, so yeah, what you're talking about, like learning your stuff, because you're coming into this game having already played the first game. Obviously, they sort of walk you back a little bit by having Henry get grievously injured in the opening hour.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to take time to recover, and therefore all of your stats kind of reset to level 5 instead of I think the first game's cap was 20.
They pulled a Metroid on you, huh?
So they get a little bit of Metroid, yeah, for sure. But I mean, really, it just, they got to give you an excuse to work back up, or else it'd be boring.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of the reason when you're aiming a bow, it's so wonky and all over the place again, because he's got to kind of get back to fighting form, as it were. There's nothing quite to the level of learning to read.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, but it is nice because while you have to kind of relearn, like say your alchemy stat or whatever, it is nice that they acknowledge that Henry already has some familiarity. Like he already has an alchemy book, for instance, already knows how to use a bench. It's just there's I think they do it very smartly, acknowledging the past game while also making sure you have stuff to progress through here.
That stuff bugs me. Like you're playing the first game, you get all these upgrades, go to the second game, and it's like, oh yeah, go get those boots of double jumping. It's like, I already knew how to do that game. Like, why are you giving me tools and abilities that I already had?
You can double jump in this game?
No, it was an example.
I don't think maybe they were double jumping 1403 Bohemia. I don't know. There are some new things to learn, like blacksmithing. You can have to actually superheat horseshoes and then hammer away with an iron to straighten them out and stuff. It's
nice.
Pretty fun. But I don't know if you had any other questions.
Well, I'm just curious about how this game works, because I've been listening to some other shows talk about this very highly, but the way they're describing it is in a way that is not an attractive way, but it's why they love it. And I want to kind of understand what that means, because they're saying they keep using words like jank and if a seasoned gamer were watching somebody play this game, they would be like, what is going on? And like, why are you playing this? I don't understand what any of that means. How does this work?
I don't really understand the jank. The first game was loaded with jank. The second game hasn't. Everything has been smoothed out to a degree where it's very similar to the first game, but it just has all. I would say it had all the jank sanded off.
Okay,
personally. As for it might not be a thrilling game to watch. Yeah, because you're like going to the baths to do your laundry. If you want to, or
you're doing Red Dead Redemption 2 stuff.
Yes, you very much are. You are. If you get in a huge sword fight, right? Now you're covered in blood. You go talk to the innkeeper. He's gonna be like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And he might even shoo you off, or like if you don't wash for a while, you'll get a debuff on your character called a reeky, where you smell, or you just reek. So your charisma stat takes an automatic hit because no one will take you seriously because you smell like crap.
You say reeky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I was playing chore simulators and he's actually doing laundry.
You can. I always just go to the local bathhouse where they'll take care of you.
If you know what I mean.
If you know what you pay a little extra. You pay a little extra if you know what I mean. But yes, it is. So on the surface, you hear all these maintenance stuff, like your sword gets dull, so you can take it to a sharpening stone and sharpen up the blade if you want. You can always just pay somebody, to kind of circumvent that. But that's costly, and Groschen, the in-game currency, is somewhat hard to get. So it's in your best interest to do these tasks like finding the local pond and getting yourself a bar of soap so you can do your clothes if you want. But it is definitely a slow-paced game. You're making sure you eat. You're making sure you sleep. It is really funny if you don't sleep for a while, because he'll just like start doing these long blinks and you can't really like see in the game. It's like he's taking little micro naps. It's pretty funny.
I just see Zack at like the local watering hole, just like neck deep, full plate mail, just with a bar of soap, like.
Or they'll, or if you're drunk, he'll actually like like stammer around during the dialogue. Like he's like fighting to keep himself standing up. It's pretty, it's just...
So what is it about that appeals to you? Because like those are the kinds of things that are never in games because they would be tedious, right? Why do you enjoy that aspect of it? I'm not knocking you. I'm just curious why it's enjoyable.
I think it's because in a lot of games that it would feel like a mechanical annoyance, like in a lot of survival games. I don't really want to go hunting for my food. But in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, in the first game, it just helps you feel like you're really time traveling, like you're really in 15th century medieval, what was a Czech Republic. Because unlike a survival game where you have to go and like do these menial tasks, like I guess in Kingdom Come you can always just like go to the tavern and buy a food item if you want. So it's so easy to take care of. But it does give you the option to go hunt and skin and cook your meat if you want, or dry your herbs out. I guess just you're right. On the surface, it maybe sounds not exciting, but I think the rhythm of all of it just brings you into the world, and because the story is so captivating, and as well as the side quests, that you buy into Henry's story. So all these extra mechanics just helps you buy into his world as well.
Okay.
See, this is making me angry.
Go ahead, super level of depth that they're just like, we can do this because we can.
Yeah, and maybe it's also because the world reacts to that stuff. Like it actually has a cost for not doing it. Like if you have tattered clothes and you're trying to talk to a nobleman, he's just going to think you're just a random peasant annoying him. But if you, let's say hypothetically, you see a noble walking alone he's riding his horse alone, and you just follow him to a secluded part of the woods, and then let's say hypothetically you shoot him in the back of the head with a crossbow. You shoot him in the back of the head with a crossbow, and then you steal all of his clothes. Again, hypothetically, you make sure to wash them first. Now all of a sudden you look like a noble. Now you go talk to that guy, and he's like, "Hey, what's up? Oh, dude, I bet you're one of my, I bet you're a cool guy. Here, why don't you come into my castle?"
And is that stuff that's like not just told you to do? You just decided to try to do it, and it worked.
Yes, in this instance, yes.
Hypothetically,
cool. Yeah. They let you know what your options, like they let you know these things about like how people react to you. But yeah, it is up to you in the moment to think to do these things, and then it works and it feels great. Or like I was talking before, like being all bloodied up, right? That comes in handy if you go talk to somebody you're trying to intimidate,
right?
And now your intimidation speech skill has a few extra points because you look messed up. You look like a deranged lunatic.
That's pretty clever. I think the other thing that's really appealing about this game is that it's medieval without being in the fantasy realm, or at least on the appearance. Like, there's not enough of that, right? Everything always ends up being like mages and wizards and dragons and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like
no dungeons, no dragons.
Yeah,
which it plays into this game pretty humorously because obviously people were more superstitious back then. That's why we have these ideas of dragons and stuff. So like, it's fun because they really do think they're like, we're being haunted. Just straight up. And they're like, you got to do this weird, like, make sure you sprinkle the holy water from the local church into every fireplace because that's where the goblins come out at night.
It's like, I don't know how to tell you this, but people like that still exist.
Fair point.
Ghost Hunters is a real thing, and people watch it like it's real.
Hey, I'm not, I have no evidence one way or the other about ghosts. But it is really funny that they think there's demons in the walls, but really it's just mice that you find. But no one will believe you that it's just mice, so you have to do this dumb ritual anyway to make them feel better.
It is not my fault that I like to be entertained. Okay,
by ghosts.
But this game seems like there's a lot of mechanics in it, and it might seem slow, but like me, I'm getting excited. Like I didn't realize all that stuff was in that game. I'd love to do that stuff.
Guys, there's a drinking stat that you can upgrade in this game. By getting drunk enough, you eventually just get better at drinking, and now you can out somebody and get.
It's called building a tolerance, Zach. And
yes, you can build a tolerance in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Pretty awesome.
I had no idea, and I by coincidence, or obviously not coincidence, it popped up. The first one popped up on sale for $10 today on Xbox and PlayStation and stuff like that. I was really considering it. But again, I don't want to add to the pile right now.
I dare to say you could just jump into the second one if you wanted to get to the game that roughs off all those sands off all those rough edges. There it is.
Do they do like a previously on catch up?
I know their official YouTube channel did, but I didn't see one in game.
Okay.
It does a decent job of catching you up, like through dialogue of like, oh, Henry, what was that lass's name? And then you get to answer like, oh, she was my girlfriend. She wasn't. Oh, I barely knew her. And then when he answers that information, which is letting the game know what choices you made in the first game,
right,
he'll also kind of fill you in on that person.
Could you do the rest of the podcast in that voice, please?
Henry.
Speaking of,
yes, so the game is a direct continuation. I just want to say this, but I think the main story is the main story in the first game was great. This is even more engaging. The way it weaves everything together, it's getting much more exciting because the first game was really just the first act of Henry's story, and this is so now we're getting into the real meats of it, and
gotcha.
Dude, it's thrilling. I just don't want to put it down. I spent my entire birthday weekend because I got a snow day off of work. I've put it in I went full goblin mode, guys. I think I put like 30 hours into this game.
That's what I did on Monday.
Yeah. It's I don't want to stop playing.
That's awesome. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You're playing on PS5. It's also available on Xbox. It comes from developer Warhorse Studio,
PC, of course,
and PC. I missed that somehow.
Yeah,
and it's $59.99 if you'd like to check that out.
It's so good. Oh. There's a whole second map I just got to, second region. This is a quick last note. And when I zoomed out, it's bigger than the first region where I already spent 30 hours. And I didn't even do everything. So this game is outrageously big.
Well, good news. You don't have to stop playing, Zach.
It's not going to go anywhere. Yeah.
All right. Zach and Alyssa, you guys are playing Lost Records, Bloom and Rage.
Yes. The latest from Don't Nod. I am loving this game so far, which is probably to be expected because I'm very much a fan of Don't Nod in general. But yeah, this is really interesting. It goes back and forth between two different time periods, present day and 1995. And you're playing as a woman named Swan.
Yes,
gotta go with a weird first name. Yeah, with 2 N's. And she goes back to her hometown in the present day, and she's meeting up with her friends from back 30 years ago. And it's really cool when it goes back. It's like it does like the VCR thing where it's the lines across the screen, the fuzz.
Yeah. It's rewinding.
The tracking.
Yeah, it's rewinding, like when it goes back in time. And then it also does it when you go back to the present day as well. But you learn about Swan and how she comes to meet her friends. And it's just, I don't know, I just really love it. I love the friendship, the bonds between the girls, the choices you can make, which they affect your bonds with each of the girls. You can strengthen or lessen them, or there could be a particular option that it kind of shows like a little sapling growing, which I'm assuming means that's a choice that's probably dictating your story. Also love the fact that Swan wants to be a director, so you're going around recording everything with your camcorder, and you can actually choose what to shoot and edit your video, so it's not just one like static video. You can actually edit it, move clips around.
Oh, that's cool.
All that stuff.
So is Swan the one in 95?
She's in both eras. Yes.
So is she recording in both time?
She's only recording in 95 as to the point where I'm playing now.
Yeah. So all the present day stuff, which I think weirdly is specifically in 2022. Because they say it's 27 years later, and the flashbacks are 95.
Okay, I didn't catch that. I'm bad at math, though.
No. I thought that was interesting. I was like, is that like when they started development? I wonder.
Yeah.
I noticed there were masks in her car.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's in that era. Yeah.
The occasional COVID reference, which should be outlawed in all storytelling, because I don't ever want to think about it again.
Yeah.
But speaking of the camcorder stuff, because it's kind of like
Mhm.
the collectible of the game,
Yeah.
because there's like the different memoir tapes that you're building that you can edit,
Mhm.
like Alyssa was talking about. They can be things like graffiti or birds, and you're kind of making an assemblage over the course of the game. But it was I haven't played a Don't Nod narrative game since Life is Strange 1,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't remember this level of exploration in it, which I feel like
Yeah,
lo-
it didn't have that.
yeah, but here in Lost Records, it's it's a lot more exploration than I would have expected. So it kind of like showing off a little bit of what they learned from Banishers or Vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Feels
Gotcha.
like.
Now, this is a complete standalone story. It has nothing to do with Life is Strange, correct?
Yeah, it's standalone. You don't need any prior knowledge of any of their
Okay.
titles for this.
Because that's kind of why I strayed away from some of the later games with Life is Strange. Like, I love the first one. Thought the next one was okay, and then I just kind of started losing interest. And when they started releasing them, I was just like, I'm done. But starting a new story fresh gets me intrigued. Is the gameplay the similar kind of loop, like looking for clues and making choices?
It is similar, yeah. You're making dialogue choices. You're going around the environment. You can look at stuff. A lot of times it won't do anything though if you look at things. Unlike Life is Strange, where the character would speak about every single thing you picked up. This one, occasionally they'll speak about it, but most of the time you pick something up and you're just staring at it. So it doesn't really have any.
Waiting for her to say something.
Yeah.
Well, I would say they kind of they do counter that by the fact that the girls never shut up. Like everyone is always talking.
Yeah, it is
That's not-
very. They're very talkative.
Yeah, it's not an insult. I'm just saying, like, So
Yeah.
it is weird, I guess, that you pick some stuff up. She doesn't say anything, but sometimes she does.
Or someone or one of the friends says something like, "Hey, I brought that," or whatever.
Right. And here in the first part, I haven't finished the first part yet, but I feel like we're not seeing a lot of the ramifications of our choices.
Yeah, that's true.
There's one early on. It doesn't feel like a spoiler where you have to like find these keys. They're
Mhm.
stuck up somewhere high. But I covered. There was a sewer grate nearby that I covered with some cardboard. I don't know if you did this, Alyssa.
I did not.
So did you lose? So so in the present day, the woman Autumn still had those keys. So did she not have those keys in your playthrough? Then?
She did have the keys.
Oh, okay. Well, then what the hell? I guess there isn't a difference after all. What are the choice and consequence then?
I was gonna say, what is like looking at the trailer? There didn't seem to be much of a like goal in mind. So like, what exactly are you doing in this? Like with the videotapes and stuff. I know you're investigating, but like, what's exactly happening?
Right now, I haven't finished it, so I'm not sure, and I don't even know if by the end of this particular part if it'll even tell us because the second part comes out in April.
Right. It is only 2 parts though.
Yeah.
So
really, I think this part's about building the bonds with the friends and seeing how Swan's recording and all that influences them.
Yeah, sure.
That's interesting. It's episodic, but it's only 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Duology. They should have called it side A and side B.
They should. They're just calling them tape 1 and tape 2, but side A
Right.
and side B would have been cool.
But I guess it's not to the camcorder thing. Yeah. So to your point, Jacob, I would say, I mean, the game so far is about 4 teenage girls hanging out, and that's really it.
Yeah.
I think I'm like 4-ish hours in. I don't know how far you
I'm
are.
about
Alyssa.
the same. Yeah, about the same.
So like the main crux is that these 2 girls, Nora and Autumn, have a band, and so Swan is like making a video for them basically, and this other girl, Kat, who's cool as hell, is just kind of hanging out. So it's just like these 4 girls just chilling, having fun, hanging out. There's like a montage or 2, which is fun to see, and it's just kind of chilling with some 90s nostalgia, which is great as a 90s kid.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's nice that we're getting some 90s stuff as opposed to always 80s.
That's true. And of course the band is titled Bloomin' Rage. So that's where that comes from.
Oh, that's nice.
And,
I just had a realization, by the way. You're talking about this is 30 years ago, 95, right?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So if Back to the Future happened today, Marty would be going back to 1995. That just scared the crap out of me, man.
That's pretty funny to think about.
It is.
It doesn't feel that different.
Oh, I wanted to know one thing, Zach,
Sure.
and it has no. I don't think it has any relation to like the game or the consequences. But what did you choose for the cat's name, and what color is the cat?
Shadow, and she's black.
Okay, because I chose Snowy, and it's a white cat. I wanted to
okay.
know if the different names made the cats a different fur color.
Well, I was wondering because she calls her Fluffbutt most of the time, and I was
Yeah,
like,
Fluffbutt, yeah.
that seems like a way to not re-record dialogue for sure.
Yeah, I was just wondering. There is a cat in the game. You can pet the cat,
of course,
and the controller rumbles when the cat purrs.
I did
It's
not
wonderful.
notice that. Nice.
Yeah.
You can record the cat.
Yes, you can.
So that's something. But
Pet the cat, record the cat.
Everything you want with that kitty. Yeah.
No, wait, did you have a different colored cat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's white because I chose
Did
the
you-
name Snowy, and then Zach's is Shadow, and his is black.
No, like, are you actually typing that in, or are you just selecting from a list of names?
There are 3 names. It's
Okay.
Snowy, Shadow, and I forget what the other one was.
Orangey.
I feel like it's probably. I think it was Sunny, maybe.
Maybe that would make sense for the orange. But
I thought
Yeah.
you were saying like you just like typed in Snowy and it just put
Oh,
out
no.
Right,
cat.
right.
I was like,
No, you've got 3 different options.
okay,
that would be funny.
that would be pretty funny. So that is Lost Records,
Yeah.
Bloom and Rage, tape
For the
1.
record, yeah, I love it. I think it's great. I think
I do too.
it might be my favorite Don't Nod game.
Oh wow!
But I Life is Strange is great, but I didn't fall in love with it quite like everybody did when it came out. But this game, I am in love with. I think it's a tremendous story. It is. You do have to expect a slow pace because it is really just 4 girls hanging out for seemingly 6 hours. But there's a ever so occasional sprinkling of some kind of supernatural mystery, and I guess we should say that the idea of the present day story is that they got a package in the mail addressed to their old high school band, but they haven't even talked in like 27 years.
There's the hook.
Yeah.
So that's the hook, and they're really super nervous about it because they barely remember the band, let alone why is there somebody else out there who remembers 27 years later?
Oh,
I
that's
know
a
what
good
you did
hook.
27 years
Yeah,
ago.
in the box it says only for Bloom and Rage, remember 1995, and exclamation points after that.
It's about
Right,
to
so-
turn into a horror.
Right.
show.
It turned
Like,
Yeah.
the final act. Like, oh
Definitely
yes,
is.
that time you guys were driving back from your show and you ran over my friend with your car.
Right.
Well, something very supernatural just happened in the game where I'm at. So
Yeah,
it's
there was a
definitely-
supernatural moment for me as well.
It's definitely going horror supernatural vibes.
I'm
what
intrigued,
happens
guys.
in those woods, but it's a great game, great story.
It's really good.
I was less intrigued after or before the box, and now I'm more intrigued after.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure I knew we were
Yeah.
wrapping it up. But I should probably give you the main crux of the story.
Cool. Great. I didn't know you guys liked playing as 4 teenage girls just hanging out, but I mean,
Well, I'm sure
Hey, I
it's
used
more,
to
who
be
doesn't like
one.
sleep?
Yeah.
Who doesn't like sleepover parties? You know?
I'm sure it's more relatable to
Yeah.
Alyssa than me. But I remember just going to the woods as a kid and just causing mischief with my brothers and cousin, and that's basically what they're doing. They're even like building the fort out in the woods. It's like essentially a little
Yeah.
hideout, which all teenagers do.
Yeah.
I've yet to
Even
find
the
a started stack of porno mags like we all somehow found in the woods when we were teenagers. But maybe it's just like a boy magnet. We just somehow find that stuff.
Right. Just have this radar pointing us in the direction.
Like
Well, I think they
knew.
actually did have a line of dialogue because I played some earlier today about when they're making their fort. They're like, "You think we should expect to find some nudie mags here?"
Oh, okay. I missed that. Yeah. So there you go.
You guys are both playing on PC?
PS5.
PS5. Yeah,
Oh, okay. You guys liking
Dig
it? Enjoy it?
I love it.
Yeah, I highly. I don't know what it costs.
I'm not sure either.
$39.99,
You're $9.99.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
or included with PlayStation Plus at the
Who
correct
much?
tier.
Actually, $40. Jacob.
Oh, okay.
Does that include both? Do you get
Yeah.
the second episode as well? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's it's one of the better one of these kinds of games for me.
What do you mean side
Me
B
as
is
well.
another $20?
What?
So what do you mean side B is another $20?
Well, it's not. It's just $40
Right.
for the whole thing. That's your only option.
Yeah.
It was a joke. God.
Yeah, but if you want to flip over the
Right.
tape, extra $20.
This is side 1. Flip me over.
Okay, so CB, we know you love Alien and the Alien franchise, and you've been playing Alien Rogue Incursion, which is on the MetaQuest 3. Now, do you actually feel like you're in the game, or what are your thoughts on this? Because I know how passionate you are about Alien.
I love it.
Okay,
So,
great.
I've been waiting for well over a year when Scott first hey, look what's coming out. And
I remember that.
Yeah, I was immediately wish list now. I bought a Quest 3 for this. It's finally here. I'm playing it. It's okay. It's fun.
It's okay.
It's fun being in the Alien universe. You play as Zulu Hendrix, who is a colonial marine. This is after Alien Isolation, but before Aliens.
Okay.
Which is weird because the timeline doesn't match up. Because they're oh yeah, they call them X-rays in this instead of just xenomorphs.
Oh.
So it's weird because within the first 3 minutes of the game, Amanda Ripley is mentioned.
You played as in Isolation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is officially canon for the official Aliens timeline.
Okay.
But yeah, you're playing as a colonial marine. Amanda Ripley is working with the colonial marines, hunting down xenomorphs and whatnot. So this takes place on LV-354. You get a distress signal for a colonial research outpost. You show up, and as soon as you get there, oh yep, there's a xenomorph straight away. Everything takes place on it's a snow it's like a snow planet basically.
Huh.
I don't know if it's the entire planet, but it's kind of interesting because okay, so you land you're playing as the marine, but your partner is this android called Davis, but it looks like one of the working Joes from Alien Isolation.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Okay.
So, but he is essentially your guy in the chair. But then there's areas where you traverse through this complex with him, and he provides covering support. Because every now and then you'll come across a door where they're welded shut, and you have to use the little cutter to cut the doors to go in, and he'll cover you. I will say for this being an Alien game, it definitely falls more into the Aliens camp for me, where it's not so much horror as it's action.
Right,
Because
but you love both flavors of Alien, right?
I'm a purist. I love Alien more.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Aliens is very good.
Okay.
But I'm more of a purist. I like the horror element of it.
I hear you, but you're not one of the, because I've met people who hate hate Aliens but love Alien, or the other way around.
Only good thing about Alien Resurrection is Ron Perlman.
Sure, yeah, can't argue that.
But there's no. So far there hasn't been any I'm on my edge, on the edge of my seat, just I'm kind of afraid. Because every now and then you'll be walking down an alley and you'll see a tail or a hand up at the edge, and I'm okay, I know you're up there. But it seems like the aliens in this game are more afraid to engage with you at times.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, which is weird. So unless there's something coming later on down the line, because I haven't finished this yet.
So is it more them playing hide and seek with you, and you just happen to see them instead of engage with them?
They seem very opportunistic.
Okay. Maybe they just got smarter.
if you dive deep into the aliens lore, that is a thing. But yeah, like it's very cool to like the first off the M141A pulse rifle, like the what they did for it is great. Like you sit here and like you're holding it up, you see the LED counter on the side of it right in your peripheral vision, so you can watch it tick down as you're like shooting. You can eject mags, load mags, and then you actually have to like rack the bolt for it.
It's cool.
But the force feedback on it feels good.
Does it feel like what you imagine those things feeling like when you shoot them?
Oh, well, I mean, to the degree that you can with like Quest controllers.
Well, yeah, you're not going to get like a full kickback, right?
But yeah, it's fun. And this is the first time in a VR game that like recoil matters in this game. If you try to hold that pulse rifle out and fire it one-handed, like it actually like walks up.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah, like
cool.
Wow.
Dude, I don't know, but like I'm sitting here like I tried to one-hand it, like I'm trying to work on a computer and shoot at this thing, and all of a sudden just brrr, and I'm like, my hand moved up with it. So
Yeah.
I'm almost wondering if the programming is like so good that it actually like kind of makes your hand, like your brain think your hand is like walking up.
As I say, your brain's getting tricked, which is a pretty cool stunt to pull.
It is
Yeah.
really good. You have a sidearm revolver, so you hit B cylinder, and you have to like dump the rounds and actually hand load them in one at a time.
Ooh, hell yeah, that sounds cool as hell.
Dude, the level of detail that they've put into the shooting mechanics in this game are like mind-bogglingly good.
What about the motion tracker? Is that in there at all?
Yep, you have the motion tracker, but so you don't have to sit here and like hold it out the whole time. You have a smartwatch which beeps like when something's around, so it's just like it, like the motion tracker or ping, you can pull the motion tracker out and be like, okay, which direction is it coming from? When you like you're wearing a tactical vest, so when you pick up like ammo and everything, you can lock it into the tactical vest.
That's cool, dude.
The health packs are on your left forearm, so they're like auto injectors. Like you literally like have to put your gun on your back, pick up the auto injector, prime it, and like hit your wrist with it.
Oh, that's kind of rad.
Dude,
That's
I like
good shit.
Like this is everything that I've wanted in a VR shooter, and it's done so well and so clean that I'm like, if everyone can follow this model, like they've done it right. Like your revolver's on your right hip, your pulse rifle's over your right shoulder. Like
if you're right-handed,
you can switch. They thought ahead for that, so you can actually switch to left to right hand, like left to right as your dominant hand, and you can even do left eye or right eye dominant for shooting.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
That's a nice accessibility feature.
Yeah, like they've done some really good, and like when you actually bring the guns up, like the Triticon sights on them, like so for those of us who shoot on a regular basis, when you look down the sights, you'll see that like green, and it'll line up, and like you can actually get it so it'll lock into place when you bring it up. And if you stray off, like your sight picture like breaks, and so you only see 2 instead of 3 lining up. They've done a really, really phenomenal job on the shooting aspects of this game. I mean, if you're sitting here like trying to blind or like hip fire at one of these aliens, and the aliens do move. So like if you're sitting here just trying to like fire straight at them, like static position, they'll start moving out of the way. And so like you have to like move with them and track them. They come like all over the walls, down the walls. Dude, it's so good.
I may come over early on Thursday, dude.
You really need to try this, because
Batman, like you're making me wish I got a Quest 3 now, but
dude, you really need to get in on this, because I really do feel that like the Quest 1, like now that because I've had hands on and plenty of time on all 3, the Quest 1 felt like an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
The Quest 2 felt like it was just, they were like, okay, like we're trying to figure out ways to make it cheaper and more accessible. The Quest 3 is like pushing the limits.
How much are they now?
Like you can get one used for like $250 to $300.
Oh, if I didn't just spend all my money this week, I'm a
Dude,
little tapped out.
and just the pass through, but I'm loving this game so much. Like I had a hard time putting it down to play like other games. Like I want to be playing this, but at the same time, like I want to be playing the other game that I'm playing.
Well, let's talk
Because-
about that one as well. That's Alien Rogue Incursion on MetaQuest 3, but you've also been playing on Xbox Avowed, which I have lots of questions for, because this is Obsidian, right? This is
Yeah.
that's oh my gosh, Fallout New Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And I mean, this is giving me Skyrim vibes, but it's made by the Fallout. So I've heard mixed things about this game. You like most of those games. How is Avowed?
I'm sold.
Okay. How far into it are you?
So Scott, you're gonna have a hard time with this game because there's so much to do and there's so much exploration.
That's okay. I'm not playing it for a while, so
You're but here's the problem. Your checkbox like mindset
yeah.
is gonna be a problem for this game
Okay.
because this game is something. The environment is huge. First off, you're playing this character who is an envoy to the king, and you're trying to find out why some mystery plague is affecting an area of the world.
And a dragon shows up, and somebody tells you you're finally awake.
I mean, they kind of do something not like they do that very like cold open, like you're like on your way, something happens, and you wake up on a beach, but you're a special breed of human called a godlike.
Of course.
So you have additional powers that other people don't have, but you don't fully understand them
Dragonborn.
either.
Dragonborn.
Yeah, this is set in the Pillars of Eternity universe.
It is in the
Yeah.
Pillars of Eternity universe. The combat on this is so good.
Okay, I'm listening. How does it work?
Sword and board, like you can go sword and board. You can I'm currently using a dagger and spell casting. There's guns.
Guns.
Yeah, you can get a pistol and shoot, so you can have a pistol dagger combo.
Okay, now you're gonna have to sell me on this, because I love the Elder Scrolls games, right, and Fallout, but the combat in those games outside of the VAT system is not fun. How do they make it fun here?
It's dude, it feels fluid.
Okay.
It's when you play like a Fallout game or a lot of other Bethesda style game, like sometimes combat feels a little clunky.
Mm-hmm.
This feels so smooth because you're taking on multiple enemies. I started with a sword and shield, and so you're sitting here blocking and parrying and stabbing. You can do lethal attacks, combos.
Is it like a timing thing? Because I feel like
it's timing, but it's really obvious timing.
okay,
as this thing's running towards you, there's a big yellow circle on its chest and it's moving closer to you.
all right, so they give you a little bit more visual cue.
Mm.
And there's the yellow circle or the red circle. The red circle is bad. So
Unblockable kind of thing.
yeah,
you just have to
you're
dodge.
gonna get hit. But there is some forgiveness to this. Sorry folks listening, but Scott will understand this. How my D&D character has you knock me below 0, I go back to 1.
Yeah.
Your character does that in this.
Okay.
So you go back to half health.
I feel like there's been spells like that in video games in the past as well.
Yeah, but they do it well. You're stunned for a second.
Wolverine and Rivals does that, doesn't
Yeah.
Oh, does it? Okay.
But yeah, I'm playing this first person. I have this guy that's been helping me try to find other people. It's not quite as quest crazy as Witcher 3,
Okay.
where they're there's so much to do, but
Overwhelming.
there's still a lot to do, but it does the nice Bethesda map, and it's oh, click on this quest. You should probably go to this area to look for what you're looking for.
So it doesn't give you a waypoint. It just says kind of go in this area kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's also a little mini map up in the corner. that you can kind of navigate. But what, like, this game looks gorgeous. But what kind of blows my mind with this is when you look around the world, and I watched somebody's review of the, like, where they were talking about this game, and they brought up a very good point. When you look around the world and you're like, I see this big house off in the distance, you can go to that house and there's probably going to be treasure in it. So when you look around the map and like around the world that you see, and you're like, if I could get up there, there's probably going to be something there. And they reward you for going and looking.
Are you selling me on Breath of the Wild or
think Breath of the Wild, but like not kid style graphics?
Yeah, no, I got you. It's just that was a big thing they talked about when that game first got unveiled. It was like, see that building over there? I can go there.
The bow and arrow so far for me has sucked, so you're not gonna like that. But the spell casting is really, really fun.
In the trailer, it looks like when he's holding fire, it just looks really cool. It looks way cooler than anything I ever saw in Skyrim.
It does. And like that's the other thing is like the spell casting for this, like it feels very D&D-esque where it's like you have a range and it's like a cone or a straight line or a single shot. The lightning chains off of like multiple enemies and hits other enemies. Or if you shoot it at water, like it reacts with the water and hits everything that's touching that water. So like they've done a very good job with the physics. But like so far, I don't give a crap about the story because it feels like generic story. Like,
well, that's disappointing coming from Obsidian, though.
But I again, like I'm only level 5, so I haven't really dug into the story of this yet. But I'm having so much fun just going around and kicking the crap out of everything in typical Fallout style, where like I'm gonna kind of just beat everything up, get probably a little stronger than I should have, and then go wreck house on the story.
Yeah, I'm happy you don't care. I just hearing that you don't care about the story in combination with the fact that it's made by Obsidian is disappointing to me.
It's not like a lot of other games where like the story is kind of like forced to you a little bit. Because again, like it's so open world, like I've got the quests, but I'm having more fun just kind of exploring and fighting.
Yeah, I mean the combat looks great.
I will say like the first there's like 5 to 10 minutes of cutscenes to start this thing off, and like the story for that, like dude, I was hooked in, and so I'm like, okay, this is gonna be like a typical like Bethesda like story or Obsidian story where there's a lot of meat and potatoes to it. But like the problem is once I hit the combat was so good. I'm like, I don't care. I'm having so much fun just wrecking house.
Some of the story is there, you just haven't experienced it yet.
Yeah, I mean it's there, but I'm having fun. Like I already found the bounty board where it's like, go find these bad guys out in the wilderness, and like they are way stronger than me, but you can actually like utilize the terrain and your partner and your spells. Like you can switch from spells to like sword and shield really quickly to like I'm taking on stuff that's stronger than me and like figuring out a way to kill them. So like I'm having such a blast with the combat that's what I'm saying. Like I'm having so much fun with the combat. Like so far the story to me has kind of taken a back seat for the moment. So
is it like you're getting a good amount of experience for taking out stronger enemies? Is I don't know how leveling works in this game.
I mean for the stronger enemies, yes, but like even the weaker ones, like because in the first few I came across, like there'd be like 1 or 2. Now when I come across those weaker guys, there's like 5 to 7. So it feels like the game's kind of like scaling with me. So it's definitely like it feels like there's a lot
of leveling.
You get cooler stuff.
Okay.
Cooler spells, cooler gear.
Doesn't sound like it's Kingdom Come, and I'll tell you that.
But
yeah, see, you haven't done your laundry once.
Yeah, dude. Why bother?
Why even?
No, because I found other gear. I just leave the nasty stuff behind. But it's just it feels like there's a lot of stuff going on the back end of this game that I don't know about, but it's kind of crafting itself around me. So it does feel very much like an Obsidian game.
Okay. Do they explain why you got mushrooms growing out your face?
Because you are godlike.
Oh, okay.
But,
that's in there.
But the problem is like you're like,
is it a mushroom god? Have you seen God?
I've seen a god.
Oh, a god. Okay.
I've seen a god.
Did he have a mushroom?
And like that part was like super cool too.
Okay.
Because like you die.
Yeah. Well,
at one point in time, and like the first time you die, like you go to this other plane, and like that's where like I'm like, this story is actually kind of cool. Like I'm really curious to see what's going on. But you're gonna send me back, and I'm just gonna go wreck house some more, so I don't have to see you again.
What kind of lame superpower is that? I met God, now mushrooms grow out of my
But
face.
see, that's the other thing is, even in this world, like they don't know, like because every now and then somebody's born with like these extra mushrooms and things.
Yeah,
I got bit by a radioactive mushroom.
Yeah. So they don't
mushroom
really
man
know, because like your character starts doing stuff that they've never seen before. And so they're like, well, we've never seen that before, so we don't know really what's going on. And you're still trying to figure out what's like after you commune with this like God thing. There's a lot to unpack with it. The story is, from what I've experienced with the story, like it's very, very deep. I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm just having so much fun with it that like I forgot to like charge my quest.
And you don't feel like lost in the world because it's a little worrisome when they have already 2 like 80-hour RPGs worth of lore before doing this game. Like, but you don't feel lost at all.
No.
Yeah, I guess you also don't care. So
they've done some very good like kind of explaining, but it's like when you first like read a Game of Thrones book, like they do a little like hand holding over some of it, but like names and places, I'm like, cool, like I guess that's a place somewhere over there. I don't know.
Okay.
I've heard other podcasters say that it's a much more manageable open world. It's not like a Witcher 3. It's not like a Skyrim. It's not like a, in these other massive games where like it's, and like some people are complaining about that. Like it's not long enough. So, but that makes me happy.
It does. As far as open world, it feels almost like a Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay.
Where like you are confined within these limits because everything takes place on this one isle part of the continent. So it's not just like there's this huge massive world and over there's another continent. Gotcha. So everything's kind of contained. Yeah. So yeah, but everything's kind of contained. So but you're just kind of digging down through the depths, and like it's really fun. And
sounds good.
For the first time, like I don't feel like the AI is overtly dumb. Like if you try to back away and like try to kite the guys towards you, they'll disengage and they'll go back and they'll heal themselves up.
Oh, nice.
So, but like you can kind of pick off a group. But yeah, the combat is splendid. I
am very intrigued. I may have to just download it just to play around with it and see what it's like. But that is Avowed. It's on Game Pass. Yes,
yep. Free to Game Pass.
Might as well go try it. So,
lame.
All right, I want to talk about one other game really quickly. Alyssa, you have been playing Catagrams on iOS from Ponderosa Games. Puzzle game, word game that's cat themed. Does that sum it up, or is there more to it?
No, that's pretty much what it is. It's very simple. I do have to say, they gave me the treat package, which unlocks all the puzzles. So I don't know what the free version, how many puzzles you get. But in the game, you're just in a room with a cat that's sleeping in a chair, and there are empty picture frames all around the chair. So you go to a picture frame, and it tells you need this many points to color in this part of the picture. And to get the points, you have to do this game where you get tiles that have letters on them, and each tile has a different color on it, and then you have to make a word out of those tiles, and then you have to also make sure that all however many words you select to do connect, and they have to connect like a crossword puzzle. So you can't just make a blob. It has to look like a crossword puzzle, and that's the crux of the game. You can make it as difficult or as easy as you want. You can have as little as 3 words, or you can go up to 8, I believe.
Mhm.
And then you can also select how many letters you want the words to have, or if you want harder words to be included.
Is there
So
only one solution, or
uh, there can be multiple solutions, and the game will even tell you, you found a bonus solution.
oh, okay. So what's the
But
cat aspect of it? Is it just a background images kind of thing and cats purring and stuff like that?
pretty much it's just the cat sleeping in the chair, and then all the pictures have cats in them.
Oh, okay.
But if you do
Gotcha.
get the treat package, which is $9.99, which seems a little steep, half of that does go to help cat shelters, and it's a rotating system, so they don't donate to just one cat shelter. It's a certain one every so often.
Very cool.
But yeah, you get unlimited puzzles with the treat package, and also removal of ads. So I don't know how many puzzles you can do before you need to get the treat package, or if you even have to get the treat package to unlock puzzles. I'm not sure, but it's worth it if you like that kind of game. I would say the treat package is worth it, especially with the charitable aspect.
Nice. That is Catagrams. It's also on Android. You can go download it for free. And then if you like it, yeah, there's a way to purchase more with the what do you call it, the treat package.
Yeah, the treat package.
Nice. Very cool. Got one more thing to share with you guys. I told you we had a lot of games to talk about, and I sat down with Joel. You guys got to hear this. He actually did an online game expo. I got to try something like 30 different games, and it's really interesting. Sounds like the way of the future. Check that out right now. Well, I'm here with Joel Shalinsky once again. What's up, Joel?
Hey, Scott. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm really intrigued to talk about what you have been checking out for us, because this is kind of a brand new concept, at least for us here at the Gaming Outsider. You got a press access to what is called Nova Game Expo, which is a virtual video game expo, as opposed to going in person to like E3 or something like that. You're doing it online. And after talking to you about this, you make it sound like this could be the future of of games press conventions. We want to tell us what it's all about?
Absolutely. This has been very interesting. I was not sure what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, you log in, you get dropped into what I can only describe as a Mars colony dome.
Yeah,
right?
it looked like a space station or something.
Exactly, with the
yeah.
glass roofs and everything and stars in the background.
Mhm.
And you watch an intro video like you would see, like you're standing there and you're looking up, and it just kind of goes over the expo and what to expect. And then you move your guy around and you're literally walking through the different halls, checking out the different exhibits. There's other people walking around. I
So
can't
it's in
tell
like
if
third
they're
person, right?
It's third person.
Yeah.
I can't tell if they're simulated. I think they are, but it could be real people walking around.
Mm-hmm.
But you walk from, the main hub into the different wings. And then in the wings, every game developer, every studio has their own little booth decorated with different things for their game. There's a booth attendant that you can walk up to and text chat with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like an AI chatbot. And I've discovered it's actually really good. I asked some questions having nothing to do with anything I watched for one of the games, and it was able to actually respond and answer my questions back to me in a way that I could tell it understood what I had asked.
Interesting. And looking in the trailer, like there's like, there's spaces where you have to like climb a ladder to get to some of these booths, and it's not like they're all like in a boring little row or something. It's like you actually have to traverse through almost like a convention center to get to these different booths to see these games, right?
That's exactly what it's like. And yeah, it's not just, table with a divider like you're used to seeing at some of the conventions. It's one booth was built on a wrecked bomb aircraft sitting there with one wing missing. And
Nice.
I climbed up over the wing and was just checking everything out. And it's absolutely wild.
So then you walk up and they've got like the game playing on a display, and then you can just walk up and play it, right?
Yeah, so you walk up and there's no audio until you get within range, which would be really annoying if they did it a different way, right? Where everything's talking over itself. You get within range, all of a sudden the display screen comes on. You can watch a short little video about the game. Some of them have the developers talking. And then there's a sign next to it you can interact with, and it gives you a little bio about the developer and some information about the game. And then there is an orange disc on the floor. If you walk up to that, you can interact and start playing the demo. It opens on another tab in your browser,
Mm-hmm.
and the game streams in the background, and you're playing in minutes.
Wow. Now, and then is it just like a demo, or is it like how long do you get to play those games?
It actually depends on the game.
Mm-hmm.
A few of them had like the first level. A couple of them have like just some demo environments to try. The one of them that I really liked that we'll talk about later was like a drone flying,
Mm-hmm.
and it has a little tutorial at the beginning, and then a second level which is more interactive and has a lot more things to do in it.
Gotcha. How many games were shown in this expo?
37 comes to mind, I believe.
Wow.
Is what it listed.
That's pretty cool, and you don't have to download anything. You're just streaming the games, right? You're not like walking up and having to install anything. You're just playing it right in the browser.
Yeah, and I actually tested this. So I played a lot of this on my desktop, which is a Windows PC.
Mm-hmm.
And then my laptop is actually running Linux Mint.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried it on there, and there is zero difference.
Nice. So that just sounds really cool. You honestly feel like this could be the future of this kind of. I mean, this felt like something that would have been super handy during COVID when we couldn't go to these things.
Absolutely. And not only that, but there's conventions I would like to go to, but it's either, not economically feasible to travel to, the other side of the country to go to a convention for something like that for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this would allow you to either get a ticket or buy a ticket to see one of these events, not have the travel cost, the hotel cost, taking time off of work. To me, this is absolutely the future.
Very cool. Let's talk about some of the games that you checked out. We're not going to obviously talk about all 37 of them, but
Right.
well, I think you've got 3 you said that stood out off the top of your head. What's the first one?
So the first one is Striving for Light.
Mm-hmm.
It's a roguelike action RPG.
Mm-hmm.
What I liked about it, the artwork is very pleasing. It's very nice to look at. Easy to pick up. There's some really cool skill trees in the way you can build out your characters. There's several classes to pick from. The gameplay was fun. As I said, super easy to pick up. To me, it felt like, yes, it's roguelike, so it's going to be, randomized. It felt a little bit like Gauntlet meets Diablo.
Oh, okay. I got some Vampire Survivors vibes when I saw the trailer.
I could see that, except you actually have action keys and you switch weapons and you pick stuff up and use things. It was a lot of fun. That's what I'm going to be picking up myself.
Yeah, I think that game's only $5. I think you can get that one now, actually, I think.
I will be checking.
Okay. What's another one you checked out?
Another one that I checked out is Nexus FPV, which is FPV drone flying. It's like a simulator. So it's real world physics. The control is how you would control like a drone, where it's throttle to give you lift and then tilt and balancing it to make it kind of sling around the sky, if that makes sense. It's not like flying an airplane or a helicopter or anything like that.
Yeah, I've got a buddy that's big into drone flying. He does it like where he does it remotely.
Yes.
And he, if you ever watch any footage of somebody flying one of these things, their turns are very quick. They can flip upside down very quickly, and this trailer looks pretty rad. Like it does all those flips and spins and all that kind of good stuff, and feels like you have that direct control that you do in a drone game, but it also has a combat associated with it.
Absolutely. And what really blew me away is you're watching the video before the game, and the developer is up there talking about how they're into flying these drones in real life. And the only way to really get better at it without damaging your equipment is to get a simulator. They felt all the simulators were rather boring. It was like work trying to work with them because it's just practice.
Mm-hmm.
Why not make it fun and put weapons on the drone?
Gotcha.
So
Sounds pretty cool.
It's awesome. You get into the game, and the first thing it does is it teaches you like how to use your throttle and fly and do some flips. Then you've got like virtual rings to fly through, one target to hit, and then you move on to the next level, which is like there's tanks, there's turrets on buildings. You're flying between the buildings and trying to shoot stuff, and it's absolutely wild.
That sounds cool, man. I think we got time for one more. What's the last one you want to talk about?
So the last one is actually a game I tried that's not necessarily in my wheelhouse. It's called Footage, which is like a horror game. And if you know me, I don't particularly care for horror games.
Nope, I've been trying to get you to play Dead Space for years, and you simply refuse.
I get to the first part of that game where there's a jump scare, and I'm like, no, that's it. This one, I liked it. So you start off in the demo. You're in a building, and it's like a roguelike. So I'm assuming it's going to be randomized in the full game. But you have like a flashlight and a UV light, and like you pick up an axe, so you cut through a board to open a window or smash a window and jump through into the next room. And like I'm using the UV light, and I'm seeing footsteps on the ground. And I'm looking at him, and all of a sudden I turn to the left, and there's a ghost standing there looking at me.
Nice.
Yeah, that was exciting.
Is this the one that looks like very realistic? Like it almost looks like full motion video, or am I confusing that with a different game?
This one did not have that look. It looks like you're playing through an old school VHS camera.
Oh, okay.
That's so the feel it gives.
Found footage.
Yeah, it's got that kind of feel, a little grainy.
Yeah.
And then, there's like you're listening to things and you're hearing the ghost and you can't see it, but you can see like footsteps coming up to you. It was a lot of fun.
Very cool. Okay, so that is Striving for Light, Nexus FPV, and Footage. And sounds like dozens other games in there. And our community actually, I don't know if you'll be able to by the time you hear this, but they offered us like giveaway codes so that our community can go check this out as well. So if you haven't already, try to find that link, and hopefully it'll still be available for you, because you guys can check this out too. The access that Joel got was press access before it went live for everybody else. So it is Nova Game Expo. Joel, thanks for checking that out, man. I look forward to hearing some more games from that convention or Expo.
Absolutely, Scott. Thanks for the code. It was a lot of fun to review it.
Yeah, and shout out to Game.Press for hooking you up with that. They're the ones that reached out to me, and yeah, that just sounds really cool. I hope that's a wave of the future. It'll be pretty, especially if you could do it in VR. Just like walk around a convention and experience some of these games would be pretty rad. So, all right. Well, Joel, we'll let you go. Thanks so much. We'll catch you next time, okay?
All right. Thanks, Scott. Have a good one.
And there you have it. Let's go ahead and move on. Gotta say hello to some new members over on Facebook. First off, Vanessa Thomas, Chloe Unkin, and Ronaldo Cooper. Chloe Unkin is one of my former students. She's now in high school. But she was one of my fourth graders. And Ronaldo Cooper is actually one of my coworkers at work, who, by the way, helped out with some of the art in Hollow Knight. He did some
That's awesome.
He's involved in that game, so I thought that was kind of cool. So shout out.
What's up with Silksong, huh?
Yeah. Did you see, by the way, that it disappeared from the eShop today and then promptly popped back up on the eShop a little bit later? So.
Yeah, I told you it was nothing.
Yeah. Also, check out our website, thegamingoutsider.com. You'll find all of our written reviews, including Alyssa's review of Threefold Recital and Catagrams. Those are both on there. And also, like I mentioned earlier, Mark is killing it in the news sector. So be sure to check out his news articles on Tides of Annihilation, iRobot, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, Sonic Racing Crossworlds, Directive 8020, Split Fiction, and Mind's Eye. And stay tuned to thegamingoutsider.com and all of our social media outlets for all of that stuff in the future as well. And now it is time for our From the Outside In topic. All right, this week's topic is going to be somewhat short and sweet. In the past, we've talked about our favorite art on the front of game boxes, but we've never actually discussed the cases themselves. I wanted to talk about which game boxes we like best, which ones protected your games the best, fit best on your shelves, or overall just added a cool factor to games. Zach, I'm going to start with you, man. What's your favorite game box?
Well, let me jump over to Sean Coates' comment here because it's gonna flow into what I'm thinking.
All right.
He said, "I've always appreciated the uniformity of Sega's packaging. The Master System and early Genesis games had that signature grid design, and then they transitioned to the bold vertical stripe that carried across multiple platforms, including Game Gear, Sega CD, 32X, and Saturn. They gave their library a cohesive look that made their games instantly recognizable. Sega also stuck with durable plastic clamshell cases for most of the Genesis area, making their games feel more premium compared to Nintendo's cardboard boxes, except for that brief period where most late-era Genesis 32X games did come in flimsy cardboard, making them hard to find in good condition these days." The point of all that was just really the first sentence, Sean. The uniformity of Sega's packaging is the reason why I think my favorite game box is the Nintendo Switches cases. I think they're short, they're thin, they look nice, but what I really love about them is it's just like a wall of red on your shelf, and almost every game has the same font, which really pleases the OCD in me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And until you get to those very few select games that like went outside of that.
Yes, those are deeply upsetting. You can't argue that.
They go on their own shelf.
Yes, they have to.
No, you put them at the end.
But what's nice is even like some of the games, like the Trails games, have reversible art. But even then, the spine is that same font, that same red.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it just looks so slick. I love the uniformity of it. You know, I got nothing against other cases except for maybe the Jewel cases because they just always shattered.
Oh, there's the little spindle thing that holds that holds the game in. Like one of those spines would always break off.
The teeth on there. Yeah.
Just wait, because I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole on that here in a bit.
You know, I'm sure you guys will talk about, like, I do miss all the stuff that used to come with the game, like a manual, for instance.
Yeah, right.
But you know, if we're just talking about the game boxes, the Nintendo Switch, I know it's a recent choice, but I love them. I think they just look neat.
Do you have any Asian release games on Switch?
I do.
You notice how the text is shifted to the middle?
Yes, and the plastic ridge is different too.
Yeah,
when for the opening, very
they're like,
interesting.
we got to make just some slight adjustments.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Interesting. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, if you come across a European or Asian release for the Switch, the text is actually in the center of the spine instead of shifted to the top, like American releases.
Yeah, I really started to know this when I was in Japan a few months ago.
Country name drop.
Yeah, country name drop.
But going back to Sean's comment, though, actually, I agree with him very much. As much as I didn't play the Sega games, but even when you went from, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you went from Master System to Genesis, it's the same size box, right?
Roughly, yeah. Like there's like a millimeter difference.
Okay. But the
yes.
point is they're very similar, but they also did the slip sleeves so that you could tell just by looking at them which were the Master System and which ones are the Genesis.
Yep, because everything with the Master System outside of a few releases is white with that blue grid style.
Yeah, which Sean mentioned, yeah.
Yeah, but like Cyborg Hunter is different. That one's black. But then Genesis, like majority of them are red. They also have like the few outliers, but it wasn't until the last 2 years of Genesis and into the 32X that they did the cardboard sleeves, which those things held up horribly. And then after that, the Sega CD, Sega Saturn with the big, tall, like PS1 style, like original PS1 style boxes.
Oh, the tall ones.
Yeah. But the really cool thing with Sega was their difference with Sega Dreamcast. So, Sean, I know you like to collect. Look for European release Sega Dreamcast cases. They are so wildly different than the US release version. They're like these big, thick blue, almost clamshells, and they look gorgeous.
Nice. Jacob, what about you, man?
I've always been a fan of the PS2 boxes. I think they're simple. I like
DVD.
Yeah, kind of. But they got the memory card slot in them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever I was going over to whatever, and especially like you could put like a bunch of games on them. Some of the games were big enough to have one memory stick per, whatever. So they just slide it in there, take it to a friend's house, whatever. Now it's kind of aggravating trying to bring saved games over to another friend's house if ever try that. But I'm not logging into your PlayStation to show you what I have saved on my game.
The plastic also felt better.
I did.
Yeah,
Like-
it was like thicker than DVD cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they felt meaty.
Yes.
Don't-
Yes.
The only thing I did not like about them is how easily the cover art could be taken out. Then they were just blank. Fold them backwards, pull it out, and ruin the paper, and now your box art is gone.
I don't think I had that problem.
I just never opened them that far unless I was taking it out.
Right. Well, I mean, like I think back to like the PS1, and it's like you couldn't pull that box art out. It was in it. Like you had to break the case to get to it.
Oh yeah.
Nope. Go to the spine and lift up in the center to get the back part out.
Oh my god! I just had this conversation has maybe had an absolutely horrifying thought. Is GTA 6 going to come with a map?
No.
They've got to honor the tradition, right?
Yeah, I'm willing to bet
Yeah.
it's going to come with a 4 and 5 both did.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
see
but that's
that?
also a decade ago, man.
No,
They-
I feel gutted now. Just a thought.
Yeah, but I really feel that they'll still do a map.
You'll get a collector's edition. They'll mail you one.
Yeah, it will be there for a collector's edition, not
Oh,
like for
if-
the base game.
If they did a collector's edition with a map, I want it like the old school like road maps that you used to get at gas stations.
Like, that nobody could fold and put away correctly
Yeah.
in the glove box.
That would
There's
be
always
great.
like a hole like right at one of the creases.
Yep.
Yeah. Alyssa, what about you? Any game boxes stand out for you?
I mean, I'm not big into the game boxes. Like, as long as they hold my games, I'm happy. I did like to look at the PS3 game cases just because it had the clear tops. Unless you got the greatest hits version, then it was blaring red.
Yeah, inexcusable. How dare they?
But I mean, PS3 is probably my favorite just because of that. And I mean, also with Xbox 360, you could flip a lot of games have reversible cover art, and I was a sucker for that too.
Remember the one for BioShock Infinite?
Yes, it was so cool.
I love.
The main box was so bad.
Yeah.
Like dude just rocking a shotgun on his shoulder like it was like this cool action game.
I remember I sold my copy on eBay to somebody and I had reversed it before I shipped it to him, and he like actually responded to me and got mad that I sent him the wrong. Like he didn't know it was reversible. I had to be like, "No, dude, it's reversible. You can."
Oh wow,
like,
that's funny.
yeah.
The Borderlands was really good. Borderlands 1 was really good for reversible too.
I don't remember. I didn't know that one was.
It was a continuous piece of art.
Oh.
Oh, like from the
That-
front, like it just.
Yep,
wrapped
all the
around.
way to the back.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, the Switch, I like when they have a little, because the cases are see-through. They have a little like artwork when you open up the case.
Yep.
Like the Pixel Remaster, I think's got all the characters.
That's cool.
Pretty
Did I
cool.
ever did I ever show you the case I got, the European one for Link's Awakening remake on
Probably like
Switch?
4 times, but go ahead.
I'm not
The
you.
Game, the Game Boy.
Yeah, it looks like a Game Boy, but it's like
Oh.
it's like a metal case, right?
Uh-huh.
And it looks like a Game Boy with the game, the title screen on the screen of the Game Boy. And when you open it up, the back art that you're talking about is all like individual screenshots from the original game,
That's super cool.
That's cool.
which is really cool. It's like one of those metal cases. I saw that one and I got that one imported. I
Nice
really
of them
wanted that one for the
Nice
collection.
of them to remind you of the better version of Link's Awakening.
The original, you mean?
Yeah.
You think the original's better than the remake?
I didn't like the doll art style thing.
Oh, gotcha. So that was cool. CB, what about you? Let's hear your horror story about jewel cases.
Ugh.
They suck.
I legitimately have a bin of like jewel cases, so when one breaks like that, I have replacements. So I love a lot of boxes. My big beef is the second half of like life for a console, where they're like, we're gonna cheap out on these. Like the remake of the 360 and the PS4 cases. When you open them up and there's that void space,
Yeah.
like the recyclable void space.
Uh-huh.
So like if you pick it up, like it'll actually like damage your cover art.
Oh yeah.
And they have the audacity to be like, "We're doing it for the environment."
Yeah, they're like, look, we're
You're
gonna
saving a buck.
stamp this
Yeah.
recyclable like cutout in this. But I mean, you look at the original like PS1 long boxes. The first ones were cardboard.
Yeah.
And then they went to the plastic clamshell
And then I had
style.
the plastic cover that would close over the game and somehow clipped in. I don't know if it clipped in on the top and the bottom or whatever, but it would
Yep.
click into place. I that looked really cool, and I remember going and looking at PS1 games at the video rental store, and just it was really rad.
Those PS1 long boxes, especially with the full spine on both sides,
with the ridges or whatever, it just felt uniquely PlayStation. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I loved those. I'm you know me, I'm particular to my retro style stuff. 3DO boxes are actually one of my favorites.
Those are long box as well, aren't they?
Those are long box cardboard, but with plastic clip ends.
Mm-hmm.
I love those. And I love the original version of SNES boxes. So they're the ones that when you open up the ends, it had the white cardboard pull-out trays.
Yeah.
That the game sat in. Then later on, they went to there was the glued. If you open up the box, it was that little glued piece of cardboard on one side that the game slipped into.
Oh yeah.
So I hate redesigned versions of boxes to for profit, because the first versions of cases are usually so good, and they're we're gonna get cheap now.
Yeah. Well, look at the original Nintendo. They just put that piece of styrofoam in there. Remember?
Yeah.
Why not just make the box shorter, guys? I never
Which is crazy, because when you look at a Famicom box, is tiny.
Yeah.
It's literally a couple millimeters bigger than the Famicom cart.
Yeah, I know. I've got the original Legend of Zelda. Remember, I got that at VGS.
And Zach, if you want to talk about uniformity, the Famicom was the worst for uniformity. Because some were the small ones, slightly bigger. Some were plastic clamshells. Some were big boxes, like the NES style boxes. There was no uniformity, and they were all just wildly different colors.
So it seems like we all like the uniformity aspect of it.
Well, if you're a collector and you're collecting a physical game, uniformity looks so good on a shelf.
It does, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as it's the same size box, for the most part, I'm good. But when you have the same size box and then you have different color plastic, then I start to get mad.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you have just wildly everything's different, being collecting Switch stuff, when you get to collector's editions, their boxes are so wildly different.
Mm-hmm.
Some are in just regular Switch cases, slightly bigger boxes, all the way up to almost Kingdom Come Deliverance style boxes. There's one or two Switch games, the collector's box is huge, but yeah, Atari was nuts too. Activision, they're all different colors. But the most egregious collector's edition box for collecting is the Toe Jam and Earl Switch game.
Okay.
Because the box is not an actual square box. Each side is a different size.
What?
So it's this weird polygon, it looks like it does in the game.
Funky.
So when you sit it down, it sits at an angle and a tilt.
That's weird.
It's so unnerving. I had to move it into the back of my collection because it's just, I hate looking at it on a shelf.
So then you got to have the decision of do I put my games in straight alphabetical order, or do I do all of them, the ones that look similar to each other with that one weirdo at the end?
That's kind of what I've started to do now is original Xbox, everything's that nice green shell, and then the platinum silver boxes are at the end.
There you go. I've thought about, I know this isn't game boxes, but I thought about that with my NES collection, pulling out all of the third-party black and blue ones.
I'm getting ready to do it.
And just so that those are all together. I kind of like that idea, but I don't know which OCD itch I'm going to scratch. You know what I mean?
I'm being someone who's seen where somebody spined out their NES collection like that.
Yeah.
Seeing all gray, then black, then blue, then gold, then clear looks so nice.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, you guys make some really good points, especially with the uniformity. I think you guys are gonna think I'm crazy because I didn't play a lot of the system, but I think the Sega ones really stand out to me. I feel like those were beefier and they protected your game better. You know what I mean? Like the game clicked into place kind of like a Switch game does now. You know, that shell really felt like it was closing. It was not going to accidentally open.
It felt like every game had its own briefcase.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like those just were just rock solid, and I just like how they look on a shelf. I see them whenever I'm at CB's house.
They're durable too.
Yeah, right. Where I sit at D&D is like right in view of his Genesis collection. So like while I'm waiting for CB to roll his 14 dice for Shatter, I'm staring at this Sega Genesis collection, and it just looks. It's one of the more pristine areas of your basement, because, like, you know, Nintendo 64, number one, sucked to put on the shelf because you can't see what's on the spine
What
of
a
those things.
terrible design choice.
Yeah. But it just looks all nice and neat, and they're all the same distance from the back of the shelf. You know what I mean? It's just so, yeah. Sega Genesis and Master System get my vote. But let's see what the community thought. Starting over on Facebook, Kyle Boggs says, I've always loved the PS3 cases. I think he agrees with you, Alyssa. They were slightly smaller than the PS4 and current gen cases. I don't know why, but that stuck out to me. Yeah, I did. Aren't Blu-rays the same size as that too? Like Blu-rays and 4Ks? No?
Blu-rays are slightly thinner and shorter.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that was what games came in nowadays. Although the shelf I have underneath my TV, I feel like, you know, they were great for PS2 style boxes, but the Blu-rays, like, you have to get them in there just right or they fall off on one side. If you're stacking them up like this, it's kind of annoying, but should replace that. Alyssa, you want to read the next one?
Sure. Aaron Hughes II writes, visually, I always thought the PS1 era long boxes were cool. Overkill, but cool. And I'll include a picture of the one I have left, which we don't see a picture on the format here.
I forgot to copy it. Sorry, Aaron.
Functionality-wise, I like modern ones. The size is nice and less wasteful of materials. As for collector editions, off the top of my head, I love what Blizzard did back in the day with the Warcraft and StarCraft collections. I have 2 StarCraft ones, and the included items are very PC nerdy, and I'm so happy with them. The Fallout 4 Pip-Boy edition is sick too.
Weren't the StarCraft boxes on PC like
wide,
like diamonds, or like it was like angled up like this, and the trapezoids. Yeah. Back in the PS1 era when we had those long boxes, I thought that's just what game cases were going to be in, and I was on board at the time. Nowadays, I'm like, that cardboard cover sucks.
And I will actually say, like, now that I'm thinking about those PS1 era long boxes, dude, they did it right, because it's still just a black background.
Yeah.
But the only thing that changed was the text and the logo.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's still so uniform. Like, it's uniform with that, like, everything is on black.
Yep.
And it's the same height and everything. But you knew, instead of just like generic white script, like, each one still had its own little bit of attitude to it.
Yep. I'm glad that he said the long boxes, because when Alyssa started reading that, I thought she was going to say the jewel cases, because okay, so you guys know I've been DJing for forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, I still take CDs with me, right? But I took all of my CDs out of the jewel cases and put them in just like slip sleeves, and then I have the name of the album or whatever on top, and so I could fit all my CDs in like 3 briefcases, basically. But back before I did that, I used to carry all of my CDs in their jewel cases to every show.
You're an idiot.
So it was like these cases that hold probably, I don't know, like 40 or 50 CDs in their jewel cases, and it had a strap, and I had to carry those in and put them all out on a table in order, and it was insane.
You're the same age as us, Scott. Be like everybody else and get one of those 90s like 300 CD binders.
Yeah, it could. It's just a little easier that would have been a nightmare to thumb through to find that, but
alphabetical.
Yeah. So it took me several months to convert everything, because I got to take the liner notes out, put it in the slip sleeve, and then, you know, the little spine thing on the CDs, I had to take that out and slide that in the top of it so I could see it in the spine. And then I cataloged everything on an Excel spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet got deleted with my laptop.
Sorry.
And all that work is gone. So CB, you want to take the next comment?
Well, he already read Sean Coates, so moving on to Thomas Bax.
Mm-hmm.
I miss the big PC boxes. My game collection is many times bigger than it has been in the past, but I miss the big, beautiful boxes with special contents. Games used to come with all kinds of goodies, and nowadays you can only get that with special editions or collector's editions. It used to be normal that you would get comic books, maps, pins, etc. with a regular game. I have a big collection, and I can't even really show it off. And then
go ahead.
Paul Hine also writes it like kind of followed up with, I'm with Thomas 100%. The pack-in books in games like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the Grail Diary, the OG Wing Commander, Claw Mark magazine, and fighter posters. Those were regularly in their quality box art on games like the Ultima series and all of the other Lucasfilm games. You can pick one up off the shelf and like a hefty dozen floppy disks home with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love big box PC stuff, but yeah, like from a marketing standpoint, I can understand those things were probably a nightmare.
Yeah.
I still have like a couple of my Ultima ones that had cloth maps in them.
Wow.
Dude, like in the 90s to like early 2000s, like companies made you feel like they cared about you as gamers.
Right. Yeah. Do you remember those things they used to put in PC games as their way of doing DRM, where they'd have like a puzzle where like it was like 2 or 3 circles on top of each other that were connected in the middle, and when you loaded up the game, it would give you like a code, and then you had to like match up the numbers on the wheel. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. No.
That was like early CD key stuff.
Yeah, like you had to you had to like line up to figure out the cipher, and then that was what you had to do in order to be able to get into the game, so they knew you weren't like stealing it.
Paul and Sean both have chimed in with additional comments. Why don't you throw those up there? We'll address those.
All right.
Because then I'm gonna go back to the PC things. Sean wants to know, CB, do I separate games from the black grid to the red spine? From the black grid to the red spine. No, for Genesis, I'm alphabetical all the way through, just because it's such an insane library. But going back to big box PC, the red filter, I think he was talking about the Genesis stuff. So yeah, Genesis, I'm just alphabetical. But like those early CD,
I thought the red filter was the thing you had to put over. It was like red cellophane.
Yep.
That you had to put over to be able to reveal the code.
Where it was like that the red with like blue.
Well, like you're thinking of like the 3D glasses, right?
It was the same thing. Like it was the same concept. Like you could only see the blue lettering if you held the red filter over it.
Right. And then you had to punch the code in order to do that. That stuff, like you had a game in order to get into your game. You know what I mean? This is kind of an interesting concept.
I miss some of those early, like Half-Life 2. If you bought the CD version, it was 6 CDs to load it.
Oh my god!
But if you bought the DVD version, it was 1 DVD.
Oh, there you go.
Baldur's Gate 1 was 12.
It's just nuts.
Oh yeah, like
my buddy opened it and it was just like,
dude, I installed like Monkey Island with floppy disks that like came in a box.
Like the good old 3 1/4s or the 5. The 3 1/2s or the 5 1/4s.
I mean, Monkey Island was the 3 1/2s, but I actually took like computer classes in elementary school where we had 5 1/2 floppies, like some very rudimentary program. Played Number Munchers on 5 1/2 floppy, like Oregon Trail, I think was on 5 1/2 inch.
I still have my Apple IIe. It still runs on 5 1/2.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for indulging me on some game box discussion. I thought that was a pretty fun idea. I think someone was having a discussion on Twitter, and I was like, that would make a good topic. So I want to go ahead and do that. So stay tuned next week for our topic. We have yet to determine what that's going to be. But that is going to do it for this episode of The Gaming Outsider. Thank you so much for listening. As always, Kevin Honingford is our producer. And all the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemage and Metroid Metal. If you'd like to hear more, please check out stemagemusic.com. He is in a lot of video games, including pinball tables. He's now in the James Cameron's Avatar table, and he did all the sound on that. It's pretty rad. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Zach, any parting words or recommendations for our listeners?
It had been a while since I'd seen it, so I watched True Grit over the weekend. The
OG?
The remake.
Okay.
The Coen brothers joint. Yo,
Mhm.
this movie's pretty good.
Yeah.
See why it won some awards. Matt Damon plays a real D-bag in that movie.
Yes, he
Yeah.
does.
He's pretty unlikable, which is tough for Matt Damon. Yeah, I don't know. That movie just rules. It was fun seeing Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was pretty young then.
Yeah, she was 14. I learned.
I didn't know she was that young. Holy cow.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she was the age of the character. But she owns that movie, dude. She's funny as hell.
Yeah, I remember liking that movie. I've never seen
Yeah, that
the
was great.
original.
And John Wayne. I mean, Jeff. No offense to John Wayne, but Jeff Bridges is a more talented actor all around.
Well,
I've seen both. The remake to me is superior to the original.
is his name really Rooster Cogburn?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's
And-
Ruben Cogburn. He goes by Rooster.
Oh, okay.
Which is funny because there's actually an offshoot. Like there's offshoot movies of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's like Rooster Cogburn Returns.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's just it's an exceptional movie. Everyone
All
should.
right.
Josh Brolin just plays this dumb guy. It's good. It's good stuff.
All right, CB, how about you?
I finally watched an Apple TV Plus movie,
Oh, yeah. Which one?
The Gorge.
Oh, is that the one with their
It's got a giant gorge
It's-
in the middle.
it's-
Got a
Tower-
giant gorge.
It's Tower Defense, the movie.
Yeah.
it's like I can't remember the actor's name.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Thank you.
And
She's on one
Miles
end of the
Teller.
gorge and Miles Teller's on the other end, and
Yeah.
they're not
Mhm.
supposed to talk to each other, but they do. And
Tower Defense, the movie.
so I saw the trailer and I was intrigued, but I haven't watched it yet. It's good, huh?
It's aggressively average.
Oh my goodness.
We got a
Okay.
5.5 out of 10. Did
I mean,
Ubisoft produce it?
you begin to work, dude. Okay, it's a interesting concept. It's kind of cool, but every single thing in that movie is so telegraphed that I'm
Okay.
like, I can tell why this was made by Apple TV and not like a big studio.
Hmm.
Like it's
I
just
mean,
like
Apple Produces nothing but bangers, really.
I was gonna say.
Ugh. Being my first outing with an Apple TV Plus movie, do better.
I haven't
Because-
watched the movie. I've just watched the TV shows.
They produced Napoleon.
They did?
Yeah.
didn't know
Okay,
that.
they produced.
That's what are you talking? That's what they do.
Okay, well, okay, but here's the thing:
What-
like every single part of this movie, though, like I'm willing to bet this is gonna happen. I'm willing to bet this is gonna happen. Like it felt like the entire movie was written by an AI generator.
Oh.
Like
I love that's a new insult.
Zach. Jacob.
yeah, it's just like, oh, I'm willing to bet that the person that hired him is not who we thought. Oh, go figure. I'm
All
willing
right.
to bet that the big secret is this. Oh, yep. Saw that one coming a mile away.
Maybe you're just too smart for them.
Maybe.
No.
No,
I'm still
it's-
intrigued. I want to watch it.
But it's
Yeah, definitely
disappointing.
see it.
It's worth a
Yeah,
watch. It's a fun romp. The gunplay is kind of cool, but
Is it one of those movies that's like it's kind of silly, but it's still a fun? Like I watched Trap the other day.
Yeah,
Dude, Trap
rules.
was Trap was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Trap
I
was
like that.
great until one moment,
Yeah.
and the whole rest of the movie just fell apart.
Yep. I know
Yes.
exactly what you're talking about.
Like there's no way
Alright.
that would happen.
Hard disagree. That movie's great, beginning to end.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Maybe you just don't like fun. Yeah.
No, I like fun. It's just
My problem
for
is that like when you watch a Shyamalan movie, you expect a twist, right?
Uh-huh.
And they give like that movie opens with a twist. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like I'm just expecting another one to whatever, and it just never.
Oh my god, the director shook up his formula. Oh my god.
Oh,
Flip-
What'll I
literally
do?
flip-
No,
flipped
just completely implausible things happen in that movie in the
Yeah,
final
dude,
act.
implausible things happen in almost every movie.
Yeah, but for Miles Teller though, and Anna
I saw a kid
Taylor-Joy,
shoot a missile down the vent of a space station once. I don't think that's going to happen.
twice. Saw it
Well,
twice.
yeah, it's true.
But yeah, for the talent that was in the movie, I'm just like, I feel like maybe Miles Teller's starting to hit that point where they're like, is he becoming the B actor guy?
Well, if you ask Aaron Peterson, he never was a B actor. He's always been way below that. So
Yeah, I mean, he's not. Very
Whiplash
good.
was great.
Yeah, there's always
It
the exception
was.
to the rule. What else was he great in? All right,
liked him in Maverick. I thought he was fine in Maverick.
Yeah, as Goose's kid, I mean,
he
that
was,
was
yeah, you're right. I liked him there. I stand corrected.
Rooster.
He was great in one movie and he was serviceable in the other. That's what I like to hear.
Well, I mean,
Jake.
Whiplash was all J.K. Simmons.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake, you got anything?
If your furnace goes out, Blueberry Heating and Cooling will come pretty quick and save you.
Did that happen to you? Did your furnace go out?
I'm cold.
Is your furnace out right now?
Yeah, it's still out. He had to order some parts and they're not in yet. And so
Oh my goodness.
I've got like 3 heaters going, but in the like, I don't know if you guys saw me earlier and I was like, I have a heater in the other side of the room that started making some noise.
Oh, when you said you were cold earlier, you were serious. I feel
Oh,
bad
yeah.
now.
Oh no, I'm not that bad.
And you're in your basement. We got to finish up so you can go
no,
get under the covers.
I'm fine.
All right. And Alyssa, how about you?
I finally watched a movie called Mary and Max, and it was beautiful and heartbreaking and everything. It's a claymation film. It's about an 8-year-old girl in Australia, and she randomly finds this 40-something-year-old man's name in a phone book. He lives in America. They become unlikely pen pals, and you see how their letters to each other affect their lives as they age. And it was just really wonderful. And Max, the male character, has this really wonderful dialogue about him being autistic that I thought was really, really beautiful and well done. Really great movie. Also really enjoyed the director's newest film, Memoir of a Snail, which is nominated for an Oscar for Best Animated Feature. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's a great. Mary Max was really, really wonderful.
That sounds like a super sweet movie.
I'm so
It is.
They didn't speak Korean in it?
No Korean. It's
Whoa.
Toni Collette and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, okay. Wow, it's an older movie too. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've fallen on the train. I'm going to recommend a movie as well, but it's going to be a weird recommendation because when I explain this movie to you, it doesn't do a whole lot different. The movie is Better Man. It is Robbie Williams. If you're not familiar with Robbie Williams, not Robin Williams, Robbie Williams, he is a pop star from the UK. He was in a band, a boy band, and then he went off and did a solo career. He had some hits in the
Millennium.
States as well. Millennium, Rock DJ. He did that.
Super disturbing music video where he tears off his skin.
Yes, that was in there. But anyway, this is a biopic about his career. And the thing that's a bummer about this movie is it does everything that every other music biopic does. You know, starts with his childhood and, you know, gets a break and becomes famous, does a bunch of drugs and alcohol, pisses off his friends and family, and then makes up for it at the end of, at the end of his career. So all that is the same. What they do in this movie is they took Robbie Williams' character and replaced him 100% with a CGI chimp. I'm not making this up. His character, the entire movie, is a monkey, and nobody references it. Everybody's just, it's like they filmed the movie with him and then replaced his body with a digitized monkey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's such a bizarre concept. I had to watch it just for that. And I just wish I liked his story better because it's just the same cookie cutter everything. But it is the director that did The Greatest Showman. So some of the choreography and music is done really well. And there's some very good artistic merit to it. Just don't go into it expecting a whole lot different in terms of what happens to every other pop or rock star in these types of movies. It's just like the same recycled formula.
What was that again?
Better Man. It's bizarre. Also very R-rated. unnecessarily R-rated. I'm not squeamish when it comes to language, but like when it's every other word is the F word or the C word, it's like it just gets old. You know what I mean? Like
that's also like UK mentality. Like,
yeah, I know, but
Hey,
it's just,
no, Scott. Henry.
all right. Well, that's gonna do it, guys. Thank you.
It looks like it's Planet of the Apes, but
Yeah, it's like that
one-
good of a CGI. Like it
one-
looks.
Why?
It's so bizarre.
Specifically the oh god, what's this? The
Okay.
Yeah.
the director, the
Way to
director,
go.
Tim Burton, the Tim
Lovely.
Burton Planet of the Apes.
No.
No.
Shut up. I'm talking about the most recent ones. It's like good CGI, like where you
Apes
believe.
together strong.
Those movies are so good.
They're good. Yeah, dude. All 4 of those movies are excellent.
All right. Thanks to everybody in the chat who stopped by to join us on this episode. Really appreciate everybody chiming in. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Zach Parkerson, Jacob Gunderson, Alyssa White, and Chris Behrensmeyer, and we are the Gaming Outsider. And remember, there is no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.